59, and it's Friday, December 19th. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
I'm Sean Malone with St. Louis County Executive Sam Page, no longer seeking re-election. There is one candidate in the race to replace him for the Democratic nomination. I've got that story coming up.
I'm Megan Lynch.
There's another dispute between a hospital and doctor system and a major insurance company in the St. Louis area. I'm Michael Calhoun with the latest.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. A breezy, cold start to our Friday. Lots of sunshine today and quite chilly, the high 40.
I'm Joe Pott. Blues playing better but couldn't pull out a win last night in overtime. I've got details coming up in sports.
And CBS News at the top of the hour, the Brown University shooting suspect is found dead. He's also thought to have killed an MIT professor.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood, the voice of St. Louis.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Eggland's Best.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. It was the announcement Brown University students had been waiting for.
Tonight, our Providence neighbors can finally breathe a little easier.
Mayor Brett Smiley, after a suspect's body was discovered in a storage unit in New Hampshire in the deaths of 2 students last Saturday.
Even though the suspect was found dead tonight, our work is not done. There are many questions that need to be answered. There's a lot of evidence that needs to be processed. And most importantly, the victims and their families deserve special care.
That's the FBI's special agent in charge, Ted Dox. The gunman was also linked to the killing of an MIT professor in Brookline, Massachusetts. U.S. Attorney Leah Foley.
On December 15th, he murdered MIT professor Nuno Luriero at Luriero's home in Brookline, Massachusetts.
I'm Linda Kenyon in Washington. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says the suspect used the diversity visa lottery 8 years ago to stay in the country. In response to the shooting, she announced the Trump administration will pause that program, adding, "This heinous individual should never have been allowed in our country," and said the program is being suspended to ensure no more Americans are harmed by this disastrous program.
Today is the deadline for the Justice Department to release its files on Jeffrey Epstein. Correspondent Scott McFarland.
Survivors have sought records for years through multiple administrations, and they question if the Trump administration will find some grounds to hold some back.
A retired NASCAR champ, his wife, and 2 children have been killed in a fiery plane crash in North Carolina that killed a total of 7 people. State Patrol Sergeant Chris Knox.
It is believed of those 7 occupants that Mr. Greg Biffle, 55 years old, and his immediate family were on board the aircraft.
The NTSB is investigating the cause. Her mother says Christina Biffle texted her, "We're in trouble." Vladimir Putin's begun his annual news conference that usually drags on for hours. Main topic, the war in Ukraine. Putin's words through an interpreter.
And I would like to say something that we've been saying for quite some time. We are willing to put an end to this conflict via peaceful means.
He vows the Kremlin will achieve its goals by force if peace talks don't work. What do you do to keep your kid from developing peanut allergies? CBS Michael George says moms and dads aren't sure.
A Children's Hospital of Chicago study found some parents are aware that giving their baby food with peanuts trains their immune system and reduces peanut allergies by 80%. But there's confusion over how to give babies peanuts safely. The study's authors say parents need more guidance and support from pediatricians.
Dow futures down 12. This is CBS News.
Eggland's Best, the only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best, better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
At 6:03, we have clear skies, 25 degrees downtown at the Arch. This is Friday, December 19th. I'm Megan Lynch.
And I'm Debbie Monterrey. St. Louis County Executive Sam Page decides not to run for a 3rd term in 2026. He says, quote, "Public service is noble work, and so is being present for your family."
Page's decision comes after saying in April he'd run again, but he began revisiting his options after he was indicted for allegedly using taxpayer funds for an anti-Prop B flyer. Page's attorney, Matthew Radfeld, tells KMOX there's no deal in place with the Missouri Attorney General's office.
There is no deal. And in fact, the timing of this had really nothing to do with the hearing tomorrow. It's just something that Dr. Page wanted to get out before, the end of the year.
6 of us kind of came together against him on many issues. So he was kind of a product of his own problems when it comes to try to build any kind of voting bloc for him to get anything done.
St. Louis County Council member Mark Harder on the Chris and Amy show reacting to the announcement just minutes after it came out. Harder said Page will have the opportunity in his final year as county executive to solidify his legacy by doing more to work with the 7 council members instead of against them.
With County Executive Page out of the race to hold his seat, the Democratic primary field is cleared.
State Senator Brian Williams remains the only candidate running for the Democratic nomination at this time. He says Page dropping out doesn't change his campaign approach.
I've always been focused on what I can bring to the table, my record of service, my ability to work with people, to get things done and deliver for St. Louis County and the region.
Williams says he has not yet spoken to Dr. Page, but offered kind words for the man he seeks to succeed.
Someone that I respect in terms of just in service, and I anticipate that our working relationship that we've had over the years won't change now that he's pursuing private life.
Councilman Dennis Hancock has previously announced his plans to run for the Republican nomination. The primary election is slated for August. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Who else could run for county executive? We will talk it over with Michael Kelley and John Hancock this morning at 8:10.
St. Charles police say 2 local men have been indicted on charges involving sexual exploitation of minors, and they fear there may be more victims out there. Federal prosecutors charged 44-year-old Brent Stevens and 22-year-old Ramamandi Yashpreet on counts of coercion and enticement of minors. If convicted, they face 10 years to life in prison.
Stevens is charged with an additional count of receiving child pornography. Police say the alleged crimes happened in the 1000 block of Fairgrounds Road in St. Charles. You can contact the police department if you suspect either man may have committed more crimes.
Time is running out for United Healthcare and SSM Health to make an agreement.
If they don't, roughly 51,000 Missouri customers lose out-of-network health coverage. State Department of Commerce and Insurance Director Angela Nelson tells MissouriNet how the deadlock would affect patients if the agreement expires at the end of this month.
So generally speaking, there will be higher deductibles, co-payments, co-insurance provisions if you choose to go out of network. For most plans today, there are still benefits under the plan if you go out of network. It's just that your cost sharing, what you will pay out of pocket, may increase.
She says if the agreement expires without a deal being made, it does not impact Medicare and Medicare Advantage, including seniors that are on a dual needs plan. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
St. Louis native Cardinal Timothy Dolan says he feels good about leaving the New York Archdiocese in the hands of newly elevated Joliet Bishop Ron Hicks, now that the Pope has accepted his letter of resignation after surpassing the church's mandatory retirement age of 75 for bishops. KMOX religion editor Fred Bottomer has more.
Cardinal Dolan reflected on his emotions while introducing the new Archbishop designate to the New York media.
Is there sadness in my heart? Sure, because I love the Archdiocese of New York. That sadness is mitigated by the gift that this new Archbishop already is.
Cardinal Dolan tells the Fox Business Channel he's weighing his options for his retirement. He might speak at universities or teach a course or two. Either way, he says he will be grateful to finally be setting his own schedule. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
From the business desk sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com, hotel business in St. Louis was up this year and growing, especially downtown, and key industry performance metrics are outperforming national trends. Hotel occupancy in the central business district, mostly downtown, grew almost 8.5% through 3 quarters this year, at almost 65% compared to almost 60% a year ago. The average daily rate per room was up as well.
Todd Hodling with Lodging Hospitality Management tells the Business Journal much of the growth downtown was due to a strong year of convention activity. However, the numbers fell short of 2019 data, mostly due to a decline in business travelers who now likely do their work virtually, requiring fewer visits and hotel stays.
It is 6:08. We'll take a break, check traffic and weather. Stay with us here on Total Information AM.
Hey guys, Glover here. You guys have heard me talk about my volunteering with Bethesda Hospice, but there's so much more Bethesda offers older adults. For a South County retirement community, for example, you can't do better than Bethesda Terrace. Residents and families love the gorgeous backyard with its patios and water features, exceptional dining, pet-friendly, plenty of activities, and frequent happy hours. Bethesda Terrace is the perfect location for your retirement years. In fact, residents often say they wish they'd moved in sooner. Learn more about Bethesda Terrace at BethesdaHealth.org/Glover.
St. Louis City SC is teaming up again with Enterprise to salute the people who make our city shine bright. The Exceptional Neighbor program presented by Enterprise is back, and now you can help us find the class of 2026. Nominate your friend, coworker, or anyone who's going above and beyond for the STL region, and they could be featured on the pitch during halftime. Go to stlcitysc.com/exceptional neighbor now through January 9th and tell us who you think deserves to be an exceptional neighbor. Presented by Enterprise.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-269-3454. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-269-3454 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-269-3454 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-269-3454.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
6:10, let's see if there are any problems on the roads with Roger Brand and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, the ramp remains closed, Megan, from southbound 270 onto St. Charles Rock Road. That was an earlier, I believe it was an overturned vehicle crash. Hard for me to tell in the dark. I can see the flashing lights. I can tell you the ramp is still closed. So no exiting onto the Rock Road from southbound 270 right now until they get that crash wrapped up. Police arrived on the scene where the crash we have on westbound 270 between the Canal and Chain Rocks bridges. It looks like they either cleared it across the bridge or moved it over to the shoulder. There's still a jam, Route 3 to the Canal Bridge, but then it's just slow midway to the Chain Rocks, so it is improving since police arrived on the scene, and that's good news. Of course, there's still road work going on downtown. Probably won't be a factor this morning, but this afternoon it will be with those two left lanes closed, eastbound 64 at the Illinois end of the Poplar. That's scheduled to run through Monday. Next update at 6:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We'll start out breezy and cold this morning. We'll see sunshine today, and it will be a chilly day. The high just 40. Clear this evening, but then turning partly cloudy and breezy late tonight. Our evening low 34. Temperature will slowly rise late tonight. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds, becoming breezy and noticeably milder in the afternoon, high 55. For Sunday, more sun than clouds and colder again, high 42. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is clear and 29 degrees. The weather is sponsored for you by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. It's a win-win. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
We'll hear from Jim Montgomery and Jordan Bennington coming up after another tough Blues loss.
The news continues now at 6:12. We've learned the identity of the youth shot and killed Wednesday night in South St. Louis.
City police say officers found 14-year-old Samuel Williams of St. Louis wounded in the 3600 block of Oregon. That's in the Gravois Park neighborhood. Police Department spokesperson Mitch McCoy.
We are looking for a dark-colored sedan that has ballistic damage to that vehicle. Anyone that sees possibly a dark-colored sedan or vehicle with ballistic damage is urged to call 911 immediately.
Brad Choate, KMOX News.
A man has been charged in a Jennings homicide investigation that dates back more than 2 months. St. Louis County Police say detectives gathered enough evidence to arrest 45-year-old Cortez Cooper of Jennings on unlawful possession of a gun and evidence tampering counts. 35-year-old Isaiah Payne was found dead in the 8300 block of Eaton Place on October 15th.
The Missouri Department of Transportation unveils new safety measures to help with increased traffic and crashes in St. Charles and Lincoln counties. MoDOT plans to add what's called a dog bone intersection at Highway 61 and W, which means there's a roundabout on either side of the highway. Construction is expected to cost around $35 to $40 million, with a goal of starting the project by 2028.
The old Shaw Park ice rink in Clayton was demolished, and a $20 million rec center plan died during the pandemic. At today's city council meeting, a new plan will be presented. Clayton City Manager David Gibson says it'll be a flex plan for events in the summer and winter and could include an ice sheet for skating. Plus,
another piece of this
is a beer garden component. And so very similar to what you see in the city of St. Louis and Francis Park, we would have a separate concessionaire come in and operate the microbrewery, beer garden component of it for the city.
Gibson says it'll be closer to a $7 million plan paid for with a mix of public and private funds. Uncertainty over FEMA reimbursement for tornado damage is just one of the things making a timeline uncertain.
If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. That's how theater veterans feel about the Muni in Forest Park as the venue enters its 108th season in 2026. Artistic director Mike Isaacson.
There's literally nothing else like this in the world, bar none, factually, hands down, not even an argument. How we produce, how we do it, how we serve the community, the scope of the audience, the tradition.
Isaacson told KMOX's Dave Glover's show having a Muni show on a resume has been a must for stage performers for decades. He called it a bucket list item for many.
Blues playing the second of back-to-back nights at Enterprise Center last night, trying to make it 2 wins in a row and 3 out of 4. The New York Rangers in town last night, and the Blues got on the board first thanks to newcomer Jonathan Berggren in the first period.
Berggren shoots, score! Came out of the corner, tight angle, over the shoulder, under the bar. His first is a Blue, and he gives the Blues a 1-0 lead with 1:02 to go, period number 1.
Chris Kerber on FanDuel Sports Network. Berggren was claimed off waivers from Detroit on Tuesday. The Rangers got the game-tying goal in the second period, and this one stayed 1-1 into overtime. Halfway through that extra period, the Rangers found the winner.
Rangers get to it on the near side as Gavrikov drops it off. Trocheck coming in. 2:43 to go into the slot. Miller with a shot. He scores. A screen on Bennington, a blocker side shot, and the New York Rangers win in overtime. The Blues' overtime struggles continue.
10th of the year for Miller, and it sends the Blues to their 4th loss in the last 6 games. The loss certainly wasn't for a lack of shots. Rangers goalie Igor Shesterkin stopped 26 of 27 shots he faced on the night, and Blues head coach Jim Montgomery was asked about the chances the Blues had in this one.
Yeah, we did. We had some point-blank chances, and the guys we want to have the point-blank chances. And, Shesterkin's an elite goaltender in this league, and he's gone to the semifinals. He's taken that team to the semifinals twice. He's an elite goaltender in this league, and he showed that tonight.
Analyze those situations, but 3 or 4 of those point-blank slot misses, just guys just trying to find a spot against Shesterkin and can't.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you try to be too perfect. Bucci knows him. He played with him, and Bucci had a lot of those opportunities, and I think he tried to be too perfect, missed the net a couple of times. And that happens to you, I remember playing against Brodeur and Hasek and Roy. You try and be perfect because you know who's in nets, and we just got to put the puck on net as quick as possible because you got to catch the movie.
Jordan Bennington stopped 29 of 31 shots on the other side. After the game, the Blues goalie said he's feeling good and the team has been playing better.
Yeah, I think we've been playing hard for sure. This was definitely frustrating, but we responded well in the third period there, and we just got to keep building our game and playing the right way.
Jordan, been quite a while since you played, but you played well. How'd you feel out there?
Yeah, I felt good. I just was focusing on my own process today and just doing my best to give the team a chance to win. And I felt good to, get some work in these last couple of days and then be back out there.
This tightly condensed schedule continues for the Blues. They'll play at Florida tomorrow night and then at Tampa on Monday night. Next sports update is at 6:45. I'm Joe Pott on your home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
KMOX, celebrating 100 years. Presented by Purina, your pet, our passion. Now, a KMOX pioneer.
Known to listeners as the Big Bumper, Jim White turned KMOX's overnight hours into one of the most distinctive shows in American radio. Starting in 1969, his sharp wit, curiosity, and conversational style made late-night listeners feel like they were part of an exclusive club, where the phones never stopped ringing and the stories flowed freely.
I'm Jim White. I am that which goes bump in the night.
I'm kind of scared to say what I have to say. Okay.
No, I just hung up on the last guy because, never mind why I hung up on the Monday through Friday, the night side, on KMOX, St. Louis.
Jim's warmth and personality created a loyal community that spanned decades, proving that even in the quietest hours, KMOX was alive, connected, and always listening. Jim White, a KMOX pioneer.
Hey, this is Charlie Brennan. Have you noticed loose bricks or missing mortar around your house, on the walls, the patios, the walkways, the porch, or the chimneys? If so, you need to call Morelli Tuck Pointing. 314-645-1387. You might need one of two things: solid tuck pointing, the removal of old mortar with the replacement of new mortar throughout an entire wall or chimney, or maybe just spot tuck pointing. Spot tuck pointing involves the tuck pointing of a particular wall, a chimney, or other masonry surface in an area where it's needed the most. One example might be settlement cracks, usually found above or below windows or doorways. Three have called when we've needed tuck pointing. Morelli Tuck Pointing, the masonry specialists. Winner of the Angie's List Super Service Award every year since 2005. 314-645-1387, MorelliTuckPointing.com.
Total Information AM. The news continues on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Some backups out there this morning. Let's get the latest on your ride into work with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, Megan, just like 10 seconds ago, they finally opened the ramp southbound 270 to the Rock Road. The last emergency vehicle left the scene, so the ramp has been reopened. South 270 to the Rock Road. That crash happened about 45 minutes ago, I guess, so it wasn't terrible. I'm still seeing delays. There's a jam right now on westbound 270, Route 3 onto the Canal Bridge, but west of there, it's just kind of slow. The original crash was midway between the Canal and Chain Rocks bridges, so it looks like they cleared the initial crash, but there's still a bit of a backup in the area there. With those asides, the rest of these highways right now look great. I don't see any delays even in the construction zones. Of course, that road work remains out there through the weekend into Monday. The two left lanes should be still closed eastbound at the Illinois end of the Poplar, so we'll probably see issues this afternoon. Next update at 6:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Sponsored by Kelley Tire and Auto Centers. Take it to Kelley.
One little light can stall out your entire day, the check engine light. So I reached out to my go-to problem solver. Dad, what do? He didn't miss a beat. Take it to Kelley, he said. So I did. But they didn't just fix my car. They fixed my day. Take it to Kelley.
It is going to be cold today, but don't worry. Our weird weather continues. Our high today, just 40 degrees. And it's going to be plenty of sunshine. But tomorrow, it's going to warm up to 55, then back down to 42 for Sunday, 49 on Monday, 63 on Tuesday. Currently, it's 28 degrees in downtown St. Louis.
The news continues at 6:22. Russia's Vladimir Putin sees victory in sight over Ukraine.
Speaking at his highly orchestrated year-end news conference, Russian President Vladimir Putin says forces have fully seized the initiative. Putin declares, our troops are advancing all across the lines of contact, faster in some areas or slower in others, but the enemy is retreating in all sectors. He remains confident the Kremlin's military goals will be achieved nearly 4 years after he ordered troops into the neighboring country. In the early days of the conflict, Ukraine's forces managed to thwart an attempt by Russia's larger, better-equipped army to capture the capital of Kyiv. But the fighting soon settled into grinding battles, and Moscow's troops have made slow but steady progress over the years. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Washington, D.C.'s Kennedy Center is being renamed the Trump Kennedy Center after President Trump. The board, handpicked by Trump, voted to rename the Performing Arts Center. Democrats say that only Congress has the ability to change that name, but the center immediately changed the website branding. Former Massachusetts congressman and great-nephew of President John F. Kennedy, Joe Kennedy III.
There's no ability to rename the Kennedy Center. It's the same way you could try to rename the Lincoln Memorial, right? People can say it. It doesn't mean that actually happened.
Fake tickets are becoming a big problem in the age of AI.
It's never been easier for fraudsters to create phony tickets that look like the real deal.
Larry Zeldin, head of security with BMO, tells us victims are often drawn in by QR codes that lead to fake ticketing websites where you'll give them a lot of money for a ticket that's no good.
Watch QR codes. Those things are very convenient, but they're also very convenient for fraudsters, right? So we may see something out in front of the venue going, hey, tickets, scan the QR code, or in a restaurant or a bar nearby. Just be very cautious on those QR codes because people are going too fast and they're not taking the time to understand if they're actually on a legitimate site or not.
He tells us pay close attention to the details.
I will tell you that I was looking at a concert for my family, found a really good price, but a really small venue. I won't mention the artist's name. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're playing that really small venue. And honestly, they weren't, Brian. It was a fraud.
Ticket scams are surging ahead of next summer's FIFA World Cup, not just for the tickets themselves, but even for travel bookings like plane tickets and hotel accommodations. Over 4,300 suspicious soccer-related domains have been registered, signaling coordinated fraud. I'm Brian Pang.
What's expected to be a record-setting holiday travel season kicks off this morning. AAA says more than 122 million people will travel between Christmas and New Year's, a 2.2% jump from last year's record high of 119 million.
The FAA says the busiest day for flying will be today, with nearly 52,000 flights scheduled. Nearly 500,000 flights will take off this holiday season. More than 109 million people plan to hit the road to travel to their holiday destination.
If you're looking for that special someone, this might be the perfect time of year to find them. Brian Douglas has more.
'Tis the season for love, and this time of year, it's in the air. You can even feel it. And it's actually the perfect time for finding that special one, or just that someone.
Why don't you come upstairs in about 10 seconds?
And this time of year is filled with so many social events where you can actually meet people, like parties. And speaking of which, your holiday work party. Go this year. You never know, your future wife could be that gal that works in the corner office.
Any chance of a dance with the boss?
Other places like one of those festive pop-up holiday markets, great place to meet people, or even that bar at that busy restaurant in the mall could be the spot to meet Mr. Right. Keep in mind, most of us are happy, in a joyous mood this time of the year, and that makes folks more open to meeting someone new.
Excuse me, do you want to go on a date with me?
Right now?
Have you ever thought about volunteering? Nothing looks better than a person who cares and also takes action. Plus, helping out with something you're passionate about is a win-win for everybody on either end. And you can meet that special someone there as well.
And you live with your husband, boyfriend?
Then there's that other option too, online dating. Just be careful when meeting someone for the first time. Always do it in a public space. Now, come on and let it show. Have a wonderful holiday. And here's a toast. Cheers. To finding that special someone you deserve. I'm Brian Douglas.
It's now 6:27, and this time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelley Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
It's easy to feel apprehensive about getting screened for cancer or to just keep putting it off. But Siteman Cancer Center wants to remind you how important it is, especially after the age of 40. And they also want you to know how easy it is to get it done. GetScreenedNow.com has all the information you need on cancers like prostate, breast, colon, lung cancer. You can also find out your risk of disease by answering just a few simple questions. And then you can find one of the hundreds of screening locations in the area. Even if you're a little farther out, there is probably a place near you. You have heard this before, but catching cancer early dramatically increases the odds of a successful treatment, especially with so many cancers showing up earlier in life. So do not be intimidated. Siteman will make the process as simple as possible. GetScreenedNow.com. Do it for your family and friends who count on you. Do it for yourself. Visit GetScreenedNow.com.
Get this, 42% of baby boomers don't even know how much money they have in their nest egg. If you're not sure where you stand in terms of getting ready for retirement, you should be listening to the All Financial Hour with Steve All.
Let's sit down and talk about your questions, because I think that's the most important thing that it is out there. It's what questions do you have?
Saturday mornings at 10 or Sunday evenings at 6, right here on KMOX.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, Call now, 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
Glover here from my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Okay, I don't want to be mean, but if you're a guy and you just have a grimy, multiple times refilled bottle of Dial that's got the crusty soap on the outside, that's a red flag.
What if you just have a bar of Dial soap with no soap dish?
I never like the bar of soap.
What if you have one bar of soap and you take it from the shower to the sink, back to the shower? Oh, would you feel good about going to that guy's house?
Oh my gosh, I think I would just leave without saying anything.
Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, weekdays at 9 on KMOX.
At 6:30, we have clear skies, 25 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch.
I'm Debbie Monterrey. Here's Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, if you're traveling on westbound 270, they cleared that incident. IDOT says it was a stall. I never heard, but police arrived on the scene a bit ago. There's no longer any real delays. Westbound 270 between the Canal and Chain Rocks bridges. Building a little volume, but not enough to really cause any issues as you drive in. Looks good out west coming in on eastbound 70 from Warrenton, southbound 61. Looks coming down from Highway P like there are no problems. Eastbound 70 and 64 from the split across the Missouri River bridges look good. There's just a hint of a slowdown right now. Northbound 55 between Bayless and Weber. And it also looks like there's a minor crash eastbound 44 at the 270 ramps just east of the Merrimack River Bridge. You're running into a little bit of a backup there, and I'm sure police are aware of it and are on the way to deal with it. But like I said, the rest of the roadways are good to go. Next update at 6:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Breezy and cold this morning. Sunshine today as we get through the afternoon. Chillier, though, just a high of 40. Clear skies this evening with a low of 34, and then partly sunny, breezy, and warmer tomorrow, a high of 55. Again, clear skies, 25 degrees downtown at the Arch.
A major politician in the region has announced he will not seek re-election.
St. Louis County Executive Sam Page is announcing he will not seek a third term. In his announcement, Page says he believes it takes courage to not run for re-election, saying more politicians need to courageously say no to the circus and focus more on serving their constituents. Page backed off a previous commitment to run again after being hit with felony charges for allegedly misusing campaign dollars on a flyer that reads in opposition to Prop B. Could a deal be made? We asked Page's attorney, Matthew Radefeld.
There is no deal. And in fact, the timing of this had really nothing to do with the hearing tomorrow. It's just something that Dr. Page wanted to get out before, the end of the year.
Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Page's attorney was referring to his client's indictment hearing scheduled for today in Southwest Missouri.
If a pet is on your holiday wish list, St. Louis County is hosting a Home for the Holidays pet adoption event today. That means no adoption fees. The adoption event is at the county's Pet Adoption Center on Bower Road in Olivet. All pets are spayed or neutered, have all their shots, and are microchipped.
If you're hoping for a white Christmas in St. Louis, keep dreaming. AccuWeather lead long-range forecaster Paul Pastelot.
Well, I think for most of December, it's going to be above average temperatures. And the systems that do come in don't have a lot of moisture with them. We'll be moisture starved. So I don't see a whole lot of precipitation in our forecast here in the St. Louis area until we get closer to New Year's.
Mostly northern tier states will be getting the snow, especially the Northwest.
The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Your money report next. It's 6:33.
You know how we all of our kids make lists and everything and visit with Santa, and I happen to be really good friends with Santa. It's like we're the same people. So every once in a while, when he's got some free time, which he did, we're cool. So he always makes it a point to stop in and have an adult beverage with me. I was talking to him about, do you ever have requests for a homeowner wanting a furnace or an air conditioner? He said he does. And I said, so what do you deliver on that? Because I'm your best bud and you never let me know. So I've never delivered anything or put anything together, but he said he was going to leave my number and my card. If you don't find it, here's what's on my card. Bart Inman, one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. It's 314-293-2600 or bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. Merry Christmas and God bless.
It is 6:34. This is Total Information AM. I'm Debbie Monterrey along with Megan Lynch, and it's time for your money report sponsored by Eamon Gantner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Oracle shares are jumping this morning. Investors are cheering the software developer and two other investors after they signed agreements with TikTok and its Chinese owner ByteDance to form a new joint venture. This will keep the wildly popular app from being banned in the U.S. Micron Technology kicked off its biggest single-day stock gain in more than 8 months. The memory chip maker delivered an upbeat forecast for the current quarter. Surging demand and supply shortages are allowing the memory chip maker to charge more for its products. Tilray Brands is forming Tilray Medical USA. It'll focus on medical cannabis research. The move comes as President Trump issues an order to reclassify marijuana from a Schedule I drug to a Schedule III. And the hottest gig in the trucking industry right now is Walmart. The company's offering drivers more predictable schedules, nicer Wi-Fi equipped trucks, and pay in the six figures. I'm John Tucker, Bloomberg Radio.
The holidays are here, filled with laughter, family, and memories. But if you're missing the punchline, the conversation, or even the music, it might be time to check your hearing. Hi, I'm Charlie Brennan.
I'm Dr. Bosler with the Audiology Center.
And I'm Dr. Voss. This season, we want you to hear every moment.
Hearing aids today can process sound faster than before. They're smarter at separating the speech from the background noise, meaning that when you're at the holiday parties this season, you'll hear the voices that you want to hear, clearer than before.
So don't wait until the new year. Give yourself the gift of better hearing today and reconnect with the people and the moments that matter most.
Call the Audiology Center, 636-441-7470, or online, theaudiologycenterstl.com. 3 convenient locations.
Call us today and make this holiday season better than last year's. Here for the holidays, here for life.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. This Christmas holiday, enjoy exclusive savings on our high-quality rechargeable hearing aids. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and shop Christmas holiday deals before they're gone at audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley for i3 Broadband. This is the season of joy, and it's time that your internet provides that for you. Other service providers will tell you that their internet is fiber powered. That's different than i3 that delivers true fiber internet into your home. It's so reliable, the pricing is crazy, and they give you a 2-year price lock with zero commitment. i3 is your hometown local internet provider, here for you for every way you celebrate the season. Head to i3broadband.com/radio or call 877-976-0711.
This holiday season, when you get them Steel, batteries are included. Buy select battery tool sets and get a free extra battery. Visit SteelUSA.com for gift ideas and seasonal savings. Happy holidays from Steel. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Sunday, the Chiefs are back in action as they face the Titans in Nashville.
Sightman Cancer Center game time, 11 a.m. Sightman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer.
The Chiefs, the Titans, and you can hear the game Sunday exclusively on 11:20 a.m. KMOX.
It's 6:38. We'll get you a check of the roads here in just a couple of minutes. As the major college football playoff season prepares to get underway, Correspondent Gethin Coolball reports the CFP has not moved the needle as much as some in the sports gambling world were expecting.
Bettors aren't rushing to place wagers on the opening week of this season's college football playoff, except for Friday night's Alabama-Oklahoma showdown. The presence of two Group of 5 teams, Tulane and James Madison, as underdogs has lessened excitement. Mississippi is favored over Tulane and Oregon over James Madison. Joey Fiesel from Caesars Sportsbook says excitement may increase in later rounds. The most anticipated matchup is Oklahoma against Alabama, and the betting line has been fluctuating. Ohio State remains the overall favorite despite losing the Big Ten championship. I'm Gethin Coolball.
Here's the word of the year, but you may not know exactly what it means. I'm Jeff Colvin of Fortune Magazine with the Fortune Business Update. The Merriam-Webster word of the year is slop. Not a new word, but it's being used in a new way, meaning digital content of low quality produced usually by artificial intelligence. It could be stupid fake videos or fake news. More important, in companies, it often means reports or memos created hastily with AI that just aren't very good. Slop beat out some other candidates for word of the year, for example, performative, which describes saying something you don't really mean in order to appear something you're not. Another contender was touch grass, which means doing normal activities in the real world instead of being online all the time. It's a good thing to do when you've been churning out too much slop. I'm Jeff Colvin.
It is 6:40 and time for us to get you updated on your ride in and the weather, which is all over the place. We'll get you all the details coming up after we check the roads with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, the highways aren't too crazy, unlike the weather bouncing back and forth. It's a pretty good run on a Friday morning for you. It's a little busier, so we just have a few places with delays. Now, the one place there's a little bit of a backup, I mentioned a crash eastbound 44 in the last report. I think it's in the exit lane to northbound 270 because that's the lane that's backed up the most. The south 270 exit lane looks like it's rolling pretty nicely, but the north 270 exit lane from eastbound 44 is backed up across the Merrimack River Bridge at this time. That's the only trouble spot on the highways we have in the immediate metro area. Just a little bit of volume northbound 270. North of Manchester, those right lanes are getting a little busy, headed up toward Clayton Road, and northbound 55 is just a little slow between Loughborough and Holly Hills as you make your way into the city via that route. Otherwise, the rest of these interstates are good to go downtown. Still no delays eastbound on the Poplar, but it's just a little busy at the Illinois and westbound at this time. Next update at 6:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
So we do have a cold morning, but it's going to get better. Let's check in now with AccuWeather's Joe Lundberg.
Yeah, it is going to get much better, but today it's just not going to be warm. We were in the 50s for a while yesterday before the front came through. Today, we're going to struggle to get to 40. We're starting out at the 20s this morning. We're expecting a fair amount of sunshine today, a bit on the breezy side this morning. Those will let up this afternoon. Tonight, clear skies early, but then the breeze picks up out of the south later tonight. Some clouds roll in, and temperatures will stabilize in the mid-30s before starting to go back up late tonight. That'll lead into a partly sunny, breezy, warmer start to our weekend with a high 55. The front comes through tomorrow afternoon. It gets colder again for Sunday with some sunshine, the high only 42. Clouds increase Monday, the high 49, but then it gets warmer starting on Tuesday. Clouds break for some sun. I think we can get past 60. We could be well into the 60s on Christmas Eve and maybe approaching 70 on Christmas Day. Right now it is 23 in St. Peter's. It's 23 in Florissant and 25 in mainly clear downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm back here with the meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Cardinals introduced their new right-hander yesterday, and we'll hear from him coming up in sports.
It is now 6:42. St. Louis native Kenny Wallace is remembering his friend Greg Biffle as more than just a NASCAR champion. Biffle died in a plane crash yesterday in North Carolina. Wallace says he found his true calling recently during the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, using his own helicopter to reach stranded victims.
This guy had it going on. When the hurricane went through the North Carolina mountains, it was then what we saw Greg Biffle was all about. It was Greg Biffle, Andy Petrie, Cletus, Garrett Mitchell. They all got in their helicopters. And Greg Biffle, what a great pilot, got in that helicopter and became a humanitarian mission.
Biffle, his wife, and their 2 children were among the 7 people killed in Thursday's crash in Statesville, North Carolina.
Officials say one man is responsible for killing a professor at MIT, as well as a shooting on the campus on Brown University that left 2 students dead and 9 others injured. CBS News Boston reporter Aaron Parsegan reports from Salem, New Hampshire storage unit where he was found.
The FBI says they executed a search warrant at this storage facility in Salem, New Hampshire. Agents went inside, and that's where they say they found the body of 48-year-old Claudio Neves Valente. Investigators in Providence say Valente was found with a satchel that was seen on those initial person of interest videos. 2 guns and other evidence recovered in that car that they tracked here to Salem that matches things uncovered at the scene at Brown University.
Federal officials are proposing new restrictions that are designed to block access to gender-affirming care for minors. The announcement from the Department of Health and Human Services is the latest step by the Trump administration to crack down on care for transgender Americans.
The sweeping proposals include cutting off federal Medicaid and Medicare funding from hospitals that provide gender-affirming care to children. The proposals are not final or legally binding. They must go through a lengthy rulemaking process and are likely to face legal challenges.
Instacart customers can soon get a piece of a $60 million settlement. We get more from Jesse Mitchell.
Instacart has reached a $60 million settlement with the Federal Trade Commission over allegations the company engaged in deceptive marketing and billing practices. The FTC says the shopping and delivery service has agreed to refund impacted customers. In a statement, Instacart said it flatly denies allegations of wrongdoing, adding the settlement allows the company to, quote, move forward and remain focused on delivering value.
Well, the Cardinals made the signing of 28-year-old right-handed pitcher Dustin May official yesterday. May appeared in 25 games last year, making 23 starts between the Dodgers and the Red Sox. He was 6-7 with a 4.82 ERA in 19 games, 18 starts for the Dodgers. He was originally drafted by Los Angeles in the 3rd round of the 2016 draft, and he made his major league debut in 2019 with the Dodgers. The Cardinals held an introductory press conference yesterday via Zoom. Cardinals president of baseball operations, Chaim Bloom.
Just want to reiterate our excitement that Dustin May has decided to join us and become a Cardinal. We're really excited at what he brings to the table and the upside of this partnership. His youth and talent, and also the experience, the things that he's been through, and the chance to have a runway with us a little over a year removed from some pretty wild stuff on the injury and medical front. And as he continues his career, we're really excited for him to be able to do that here, and look forward to partnering with him to get the most out of him and position him for success so he can help us win.
May said he's excited to be in St. Louis.
We are thrilled and very, very happy to be with St. Louis. I'm just thrilled to have the opportunity to put the Cardinals uniform on and go out every 5th day and compete.
He was asked what it was about St. Louis that attracted him.
I thought it was definitely going to give me the best opportunity to go out and compete. They definitely reiterated the fact that they wanted me to come in, and they wanted me to go out every 5th day and have the ball. And I feel like this gave me the best chance to be able to do that, and to do it on a team that I think is going to have a very good group of guys. I'm definitely very excited about the youth of this team, and I'm definitely excited to be a part of it.
New Cardinals pitcher Dustin May. Tonight, the opening round of the college football playoff kicks off at Memorial Stadium in Norman, Oklahoma. We get a preview from CBS sports reporter Erica Herskowitz.
Tonight marks the second meeting of the season for the SEC foes. 8th-seeded Oklahoma will be taking on 9th-seeded Alabama after already upsetting the then number 4 Crimson Tide in Tuscaloosa back in mid-November. This time, though, Alabama head coach Kalen DeBoer knows the stakes are much higher.
Awesome opportunity for our football team to go up against a very good football team in Oklahoma and Coach Venables. And so I'm looking forward to everything that comes about.
The winner advances to the quarterfinals to face top-seeded Indiana in the Rose Bowl on January 1st. Kickoff is set for 8 p.m. Eastern. Erica Herskowitz for CBS News.
Of course, that's 7 o'clock St. Louis time. 3 more games tomorrow in the playoff. Miami at Texas A&M, Tulane at Ole Miss, and James Madison at Oregon. Our next sports update is 7:15. I'm Joe Pott on your home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Hey, St. Louis City SC fans, mark your calendars now.
The boys in red return to Energizer Park to kick off season 4 Saturday, February 21st. And you could be there for the dawn of a new golden era of St. Louis soccer. Go to stlcitysc.com/tickets and reserve your seat now for the MLS home opener versus Charlotte FC. Limited quantities remain. See you soon, St. Louis.
This is Amy Mark Scores, chair of this year's Red Kettle campaign. Christmas reminds us of the challenges faced by our neighbors in need, basic needs we sometimes take for granted. When you give with joy to the Salvation Army, you transform lives. You put food on the table and provide warm beds. You give veterans and seniors purpose. You help a child experience the joy of Christmas. And 90 cents of every dollar donated goes directly to critical social services. Bring joy to the world today. Visit salarmy.us/Amy Mark Scores.
Caesars Sportsbook is the only sportsbook app with Caesars Rewards. Bet on gridiron action and earn perks on every game, like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using promo code Radio250BM and get your first bet matched as a bonus bet up to $250 whether you win or lose. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Missouri. Open to New Year's only. Minimum odds -500. Awarded as non-withdrawable bonus bet that expires 14 days after receipt. Bonus bet amount not returned for winning bets. Void where prohibited. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
KMOX welcomes Trans-Siberian Orchestra and their monumental tour, The Ghosts of Christmas Eve, to Enterprise Center December 23rd at 3 p.m. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. A portion of the proceeds benefits Sightman Kids at St. Louis Children's Hospital. TSO, timeless and everlasting. Don't miss the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, The Lost Christmas Eve, produced by Live Nation. For more details, KMOX.com/events.
Hey, speaking of that show, Trans-Siberian Orchestra, we have our final pair of tickets to give away this morning. So be listening in about 30 minutes or so for your chance to call in and win that final pair of tickets. It's for the December 23rd, 3 p.m. show. Not now, but in about 30 minutes.
Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
6:50 at KMOX. Let's check back in with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center. How's it look?
Well, we still got our trouble on 44, Megan. In fact, there's another crash out there now. This traffic reports the service of the Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. The first crash you come to is on the right shoulder, eastbound 44, just past the Bowles on-ramp. And then the other one's on the exit lane to northbound 270. The exit lane blocked. I can't tell at this point if it's after the ramp completely splits away, if you can get around it or not. They just say the left exit lane is closed, and I can see that's the lane that's most backed up. That's the north 270 exit lane on eastbound 44 right now, so a jam building there in Fenton. But other places like northbound 55, it cleared out. The little delay we did have north of Bayless, it's all on the go. North 270 coming up to Ladue looks good. Downtown, if you're headed for the Poplar Street Bridge, again, the little delay we had there is cleared out as well. Next update at 6:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
All right, so you will need a variety of coats for this forecast. Today, you'll need your winter coat because it'll be breezy and cold. We'll have a high of just 40 degrees. Then tomorrow, partly sunny at 55, then back to sunshine and 42 on Sunday, up to 49 on Monday, 63 on Tuesday. And looking ahead, our meteorologist said it may even be 70 on Christmas. So we'll keep you posted on that. But right now, it's 29 downtown.
The news continues at 6:52. As the need for more shelter space grows, St. Louis City is seeking the public's help to keep them funded. Mayor Kara Spencer is announcing a new winter shelter fund where donations can be made to help fund the city's winter bed capacity. Mayor Kara Spencer says all the money raised will go toward shelters.
This will be spread out throughout the provider community and really be able to adapt to the needs as we see them.
Mayor Spencer says she wants to see the fund raise $250,000 by the end of 2025.
As rumors swirl that Kansas City Chiefs reps will be meeting with Kansas officials Monday to discuss a relocation plan, the mayor of Kansas City, Missouri, issued a statement. Quentin Lucas said yesterday his city does not negotiate in public and will not change course.
Lucas said as KC and its Missouri partners continue discussions with long-term partners at the Chiefs and Royals, they remain steadfast in working toward an arrangement in the best interest of the community and the greatest success of both teams on and off the field.
Former Channel 5 anchor Savannah Louie is $1 million richer after winning season 49 of Survivor. Louie tells the DGS on KMOX she went into the game planning to be a diabolical villain, but quickly realized she had to change course to stay alive.
Halfway through the game, I end up being in a position where I'm at the bottom of the tribe, and I had to switch up my strategy. And I kind of just had to do whatever it took to get ahead and survive one more day in the game. And ultimately, that's the strategy that ended up winning me $1 million.
Louie tied a show record for women by winning 4 individual immunity challenges during the season.
It appears the Queen of Christmas has company.
Last Christmas, I gave you my heart.
Wham's 1984 holiday hit is #1 on the Billboard Global 200 chart. Andrew Ridgeley calls it the best Christmas gift he and his late bandmate George Michael could have wished for. Following close behind at #2. Mariah Carey and her song, which has been #1 on the chart every December since it debuted on Billboard's list in 2020. Also in this week's top 10,
Rocking around Christmas tree.
Brenda Lee's 1958 holiday favorite. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
I heard it's somebody's birthday.
Birthday excitement. It's your birthday.
Today's KMOX birthday shout out sponsored by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back, family owned and top rated, RennerDoorSTL.com. Some celebrity birthdays for this Friday, December 19th include actor Jennifer Beals. She is 62 years old. Model Tyson Beckford, 55, and actor Alyssa Milano, 53.
Local celebrity birthdays include Andy B. King. Happy 56th from your fantastic father-in-law. Karen Clifford, happy birthday. Carla Payne from your friends. Make that Kayla Payne. Cindy Dorton, happy birthday to you from the Church Chicks. Orvin Kimbrough is celebrating. So are Susie Ford, Bill Reddig, and Ernie Hughes from the Life Group. Paul Heilich, the little man who loves big hugs, is 79 today. Happy birthday to Valda Frank in Frontenac and Beth Ernst from your Ascension friends.
This is the best birthday ever.
This holiday, give the gift that lasts all season long. Cardinals ticket packs are on sale now, starting at 5, 6, and 10 games. All packs include 2026's top games and favorite giveaways. Backed by popular demand, choose from the opening day pack or the bobblehead pack. Check out the Cubs pack, weekend pack, or apparel pack. There's a pack for everyone. Find your perfect gift right now at cardinals.com/tickets.
The holidays come and go, but Cardinals baseball lasts all season long. This year, give the gift of all-inclusive tickets, featuring a full buffet, complimentary bar, and unbeatable views at Busch Stadium. Enjoy great food, good times, and every moment of the action. Choose your experience in the Budweiser 703 Club, UMB Champions Club, Coca-Cola Scoreboard Patio, and more. Make your holidays brighter with all-inclusive tickets. On sale now at cardinals.com/tickets.
Renewal by Andersen is the #1 window and door brand for customer service. Schedule your free inspection today. Call 877-WINDOWS. That's 877-WINDOWS. Or head to rbastl.com.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fire Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, registered investment advisors. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
See website for details. Bills Happen is not a lender and does not make credit decisions. Hey, bills happen! So when you need extra cash fast, go to billshappen.com. Have you been turned down? Are your credit cards maxed out? Do you have bad credit? Go to billshappen.com. You could find a lender and get up to $5,000 cash as early as tomorrow. Billshappen.com is safe, secure, and all online. Just remember, when you need cash, go to billshappen.com. Billshappen.com for the cash you need now. Billshappen.com.
Got any gadgets? Get online protection. NordVPN has a ho-ho holiday deal just for you. Secure up to 10 devices with a single account. NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro feature helps you avoid malware, phishing, and annoying trackers. Just a few taps and you're safer online. Let your gadgets sparkle with online security. Go to NordVPN.com and get up to 77% off plus 3 extra months. NordVPN.
Let's get get you another update on your ride into work with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
No, Megan, every time I do a report about 44, we have another crash. First one was eastbound 44 at the North 270 ramp. Then we had one on the shoulder east of Bowles. Now we have a second one behind that crash. So 3 different crashes on eastbound 44. This one does have the right lane blocked east of Bowles. So stop and go pockets from just a little, again, east of Bowles all the way up to 270 due to 3 separate crashes. At least one of them is blocking. Sure, I think 2 of the 3 are blocking the roadway. Now, once you get past that point, 44 is fine. And the rest of these highways look great, even in the work zones. The only slowdown I'm seeing right now is eastbound 70, a little busy just east of Cave Springs. Downtown, we look great across the bridges. Next update at 7:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Today is Friday, December 19th. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
I'm Sean Malone. St. Louis County Executive Sam Page will not seek re-election. Was this decision made because of a potential deal in his criminal case? I've got that story coming up.
I'm Megan Lynch.
There's another dispute between a hospital and doctor system and a major insurance company in the St. Louis area. I'm Michael Calhoun with the latest.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Sunny, but much colder today than yesterday. The high only 40.
I'm Joe Pott. Cardinals introduce right-hander Dustin May. We'll hear from the new Cardinals hurler coming up in sports.
In CBS News, today is the deadline for files in the Jeffrey Epstein case to be released. We'll get the latest for you at the Tone. It is 7 o'clock in Mid-America.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is the CBS World News Roundup Late Edition, sponsored by CVS Health.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. The search for the Brown University gunman has ended in a storage unit in New Hampshire.
He was a Brown student. He was a Portuguese national, and his last known address was in Miami, Florida. And I will tell you that he took his own life tonight.
Providence Police Chief Colonel Oscar Perez says the 48-year-old suspect and the deaths of 2 Brown students had also been linked to the murder of an MIT professor near Boston. Rhode Island Attorney General Peter Nerona.
He was found dead with a satchel with 2 firearms.
I'm Linda Kenyon. After police posted images of a person of interest, a man known only as John began posting on Reddit. He said he recognized the suspect and theorized that police should look into, quote, possibly a rental gray Nissan. John told investigators he encountered the suspect in the bathroom of the Brown University Engineering Building hours before the attack and noted his clothing was inappropriate and inadequate for the weather.
The Justice Department is supposed to release all of its files on Jeffrey Epstein today. Spencer Cooven is an attorney for some of the convicted sex offenders' survivors.
They have been fighting for nearly 20 years to let the public know what happened to them, who was involved, and for some measure of justice by the federal government.
EU leaders have agreed to give Ukraine an interest-free loan of about $105 billion to fund its fight against Russia. The BBC's Vitaly Shevchenko.
The amount is much smaller than what Russia has. And also, this isn't what Volodymyr Zelensky and Friedrich Merz of Germany, this isn't what they were pushing for. They were pushing for Russian frozen assets to be used to help Ukraine. That didn't happen, and that's something that makes Vladimir Putin really, really pleased.
An investigation underway a day after former NASCAR racing champ Greg Biffle, his wife, and 2 children were killed in a private plane that crashed shortly after it took off from a regional airport north of Charlotte, North Carolina. Former NTSB chairman Robert Sumwalt.
Altitude data quit transmitting from the airplane and remained off up until just a few seconds before takeoff. That's telling me that there must have been some sort of an electrical problem with this airplane that caused this pilot to decide to come back to Statesville and land.
3 other people on the plane also died. Dow futures down 12. Everyone's lining up for Powerball tickets again. CBS's Jesse Mitchell.
With no big Powerball jackpot winner this week, the top prize has climbed to an estimated $1.5 billion for tomorrow night's drawing. That's the 5th largest in the game's history. The estimated cash value is more than $686 million.
This is CBS News.
Through trusted relationships and national reach, CVS Health is uniquely positioned to simplify care. Learn more at cvshealth.com/investor day.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The holidays were tricky for the Colonel. He loved people, but he also loved peace and quiet. So he cooked up KFC's $4.99 chicken pot pie. Warm, flaky, with savory sauce and vegetables. It's a tender chicken-filled excuse to get some time to yourself and step away from decking the halls, whatever that means. The Colonel lived so we could chicken. KFC's chicken pot pie. The best $4.99 you'll spend this season.
Prices and participation may vary while supplies last. Taxes, tips, and fees extra.
Selling your home, it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. You could go it alone, trying to navigate market trends, determine fair pricing, and tackle tricky negotiations on your own. You could second guess every decision, wondering if you're doing it right. Then there's the showings, the offers, and the mountain of paperwork. Or you could work with the expertise of a realtor, here to guide and help protect as you make your next big move. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
It is 7:04, and right now in downtown St. Louis, it's 27 degrees with clear skies. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Megan Lynch. St. Louis County Executive Sam Page will not be running for a third term in 2026.
In an email announcement from his campaign, County Executive Sam Page said this decision takes courage and took a swipe at unnamed officials who manufacture problems for clicks and sound bites. Page, after previously telling the St. Louis Business Journal he would seek re-election, softened his stance after he was indicted for allegedly using taxpayer dollars on a political mailer. Page's attorney, Matthew Radefeld, confirms to KMOX no deal has been made with the Attorney General's office regarding Page's decision. He does say potential deals were discussed, but never got serious.
A lot of times prosecutors will say, if you do this, we'll do this, but there's been nothing at all seriously considered or talked about in that regard between the two parties.
Sean Malone, KMOX News.
With Sam Page ending his plans to run for re-election, State Senator Brian Williams is the only candidate in the race for the Democratic nomination. He tells KMOX Page's decision won't change his approach to the campaign.
Bring collaboration and partnership to the county, opportunity to bring bold ideas and results back to the region like I've done at the state senators.
Williams says he has not spoken to Dr. Page, but anticipates their working relationship won't change as Page enters private life in 2027.
St. Louis County Council member Mark Harder was asked on KMOX's Chris and Amy show if he thought the 2026 county executive race would boil down to Senator Williams on the Democrat side and County Council member Dennis Hancock for Republicans.
This race is a very expensive race. I mean, there's always folks that just want to see their name on a ballot, and they'll put their name out there. But you got to have serious candidates. This is a big job. It's a very important job.
Harder said Page's announcement not to run did not surprise him.
If a pet is on your holiday wish list, St. Louis County is hosting a Home for the Holidays pet adoption event today. That means no fees. The adoption event is at the county's Pet Adoption Center on Bauer Road in Olivet. All pets are spayed or neutered, have all their shots, and are microchipped.
The contract dispute between United Healthcare and SSM Health continues.
It could cause roughly 51,000 Missouri customers to lose SSM Health coverage. It'd go out of network if an agreement is not made by the end of this month. State Department of Commerce and Insurance Director Angela Nelson tells MissouriNet healthcare costs are rising at a much faster pace than inflation.
Providers are in a very difficult situation with rising costs. And then we've got the situation where we've got employers who are struggling with all of their rising costs as well. But at the same point in time, health insurance companies are struggling to try to keep premiums low.
Nelson says she is still optimistic that both of the sides can come together before the deadline. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The U.S. Department of Justice says it is suing Illinois, 2 other states, and the District of Columbia for failing to produce full voter registration lists upon request. That brings the DOJ's nationwide total to 22. Officials say Missouri, Tennessee, and Mississippi have announced they will voluntarily provide their full voter lists. That makes 10 states in full compliance with DOJ requests or in the process of getting there.
From the business desk, sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com, the St. Louis Brewery is promoting from within for its top job. James Otto Ottolini has been named the new CEO of the company behind Schlafly Beer. Ottolini holds an MBA from Washington University and has worked in various roles at the brewery for more than 2 decades.
A deal to sell one of St. Louis's most historic restaurants has collapsed. The owner of O'Connell's Pub says the prospective buyers were denied a bank loan because they lacked a restaurant experience. The current owner says he is willing to sell the place cheap to anyone committed to preserving that legacy started by Jack Parker decades ago.
We'll get a check of the roads, especially problems on 44 this morning with Roger Brand coming up in 2 minutes. It's 7:08.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell and Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kellwood, St. Louis.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
It is 7:10, time for traffic and weather. Let's get a check of the roadways with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
No, I don't know what the problem was. Well, I can tell you what the problem is. There's 3 different crashes, but I don't know why they're all in a row here on eastbound 44, Debbie. But that's the only interstate problem we have right now. We've had 3 different crashes. The first one was eastbound 44, the ramp to North 270 blocking, or at least partially blocking that ramp. Then we had a crash in the back of the jam that's on the right shoulder, just west of the Merrimack River Bridge. And now the third crash, they have the right lane closed. EMS is on the scene with this one on eastbound 44, just east of Bowles. So the end result is between Bowles and 270, you're bunched up stop-and-go pockets, especially those white lanes once you get east of the first crash you come upon on Highway 44. Other than that, the rest of these interstates, you don't have anything to complain about. There's a little bit of a slowdown between Cave Springs and Zumbel on eastbound 70. Otherwise, the rest of the area interstates are in great shape. Do have a roadwork jam, or not a roadwork jam, I guess it's back to school jam. Southbound 94, south of 64 down through T is bumper to bumper. Kids heading over to Francis Howell on a Friday morning. Next update is 7:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
KMOX AccuWeather, breezy and cold this morning. Lots of sunshine today, but much chillier than recent days. The high just 40. Mainly clear this evening, then becoming partly cloudy and breezy late tonight. A low 34 early, and temperature will begin to rise late tonight. Partly sunny tomorrow, breezy and warmer in the afternoon, high 55. For Sunday, sunshine, some clouds, and colder again, high 42. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is a brisk morning this morning. Right now, we have clear skies, 22 degrees in Florissant, 23 in St. Peters, and 24 degrees downtown at the Arch.
Blues suffered an overtime loss last night. I've got highlights and reaction of that one coming up.
It is 7:12. St. Charles police say 2 local men have been indicted on charges involving sexual exploitation of minors, and they fear there may be more victims out there. Federal prosecutors charged 44-year-old Brent Stevens and 22-year-old Ramamdi Yashpreet on counts of coercion and enticement of minors. If convicted, they face 10 years to life in prison.
Stevens is charged with an additional count of receiving child pornography. Police say the alleged crimes happened in the 1000 block of Fairgrounds Road in St. Charles. Contact the police if you suspect either man may have committed more crimes.
A bit sad, but still optimistic and hopeful. That's how St. Louis native Cardinal Timothy Dolan says he feels following Pope Leo's acceptance of his letter of resignation now that he's passed the church's mandatory bishop's retirement age of 75.
Cardinal Dolan was his usual joyful self in introducing his successor in New York, Joliet Bishop Ronald Hicks.
St. Nicholas has left us an early Christmas gift in the appointment by Pope Leo XIV of our new Archbishop Ronald Hicks. I've gotten to know him, and I already love him and appreciate him and trust him.
I also want to take this moment right now to express my deep gratitude to Cardinal Timothy Dolan. He said to me, "Ron, I want you to do well here, and you have all my support."
Cardinal Dolan tells the Fox Business Channel he's weighing his options for his retirement. He might speak at universities or teach a course. Either way, he says he will be grateful to finally be setting his own schedule. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
The old Shaw Park ice rink in Clayton was demolished, and a $20 million rec center plan died during the pandemic. At today's city council meeting, a new plan will be presented. Clayton City Manager David Gibson says it will be a flex plan for events in summer and winter and could include an ice sheet for skating. Plus,
another piece of this is a beer garden component. And so very similar to what you see in the city of St. Louis and Francis Park, we would have a separate concessionaire come in and operate the microbrewery, beer garden component of it for the city.
Gibson says it will be closer to a $7 million plan paid for with a mix of public and private funds. Uncertainty over FEMA reimbursement for tornado damage is just one of the things making a timeline uncertain.
Hundreds turned out Thursday for a Dine to Donate fundraiser in Granite City. The local Pizza World restaurant donated proceeds to the family of Granite City Police Department officer Tyler Timmons, who was wounded in the line of duty earlier this month. Store owner Ryan Wortham spoke with our news partners at Fox 2.
He goes out every day and puts his life on the line for us. And so I just figured, let's show up for him.
Wortham staffers report an additional cash donation jar was overflowing several times during the event. It's 7:15.
Well, the Blues are playing the second of back-to-back nights at Enterprise Center last night, trying to make it 2 straight wins and 3 out of 4. The New York Rangers in town last night, and the Blues got on the board first thanks to newcomer Jonathan Berggren in the first.
Berggren shoots, score! Came out of the corner, tight angle, over the shoulder, under the bar. His first is a Blue, and he gives the Blues a 1-0 lead with 1:02 to go, period number 1.
That's Chris Kerber on FanDuel Sports Network. Berggren was claimed off waivers from Detroit on Tuesday. The Rangers get the game-tying goal in the second period, and it stayed 1-1 into overtime. But halfway through the extra period, the Rangers found the winner.
Rangers get to it on the near side as Gavrikov drops it off. Trocheck coming in. 2:43 to go into the slot. Miller with a shot. He scores. A screen on Bennington, a blocker side shot, and the New York Rangers win in overtime. The Blues' overtime struggles continue.
10th of the year for Miller, and it sends the Blues to their 4th loss in their last 6 games. The loss certainly wasn't for a lack of shots. Rangers goalie Igor Shesterkin stopped 26 of 27 shots he faced on the night. Blues head coach Jim Montgomery talked about the chances his team had.
Yeah, we did. We had some point-blank chances, and the guys we want to have the point-blank chances. And, Shesterkin's an elite goaltender in this league, and he's gone to the semifinals. He's taken that team to the semifinals twice. He's an elite goaltender in this league, and he showed that tonight.
Analyze those situations, but 3 or 4 of those point-blank slot misses, just guys just trying to find a spot against Shesterkin and can.
Yeah, sometimes you try to be too perfect. Bucci knows him. He played with him, and Bucci had a lot of those opportunities, and I think he tried to be too perfect, missed the net a couple of times. And that happens to you, I remember playing against Brodeur and Hasek and Roy. And you try and be perfect because you know who's in nets, and we just got to put the puck on net as quick as possible because you got to catch the movie.
Jordan Bennington stopped 29 of 31 shots on the other side. After the game, the Blues goalie said he's feeling good and the team has been playing better.
Yeah, I think we've been playing hard for sure. This was definitely frustrating, but we responded well in the third period there, and we just got to keep building our game and playing the right way.
It's been quite a while since you played, but you played well. How do you feel out there?
Yeah, I felt good. I just was focused on my own process today and just doing my best to give the team a chance to win. And I felt good to, get some work in these last couple of days and then be back out there.
Well, that condensed schedule continues for the Blues. They play at the Florida Panthers tomorrow night, and then they'll be at Tampa on Monday night. Next sports update is at 7:45. I'm Joe Pott on your home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original, present 100 years of KMOX.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
There, when St. Louis mourned.
My father, Jack Buck, passed away tonight.
We didn't just lose a great broadcaster, we lost a great person and a friend to the entire sports world.
Busch Stadium was the same sea of red the Hall of Fame broadcaster witnessed season after season as family, friends, and longtime listeners gathered to celebrate a great life.
We cannot begin to tell you all how much your thoughts, your prayers, your cards, your comments on KMOX, what you've done out by his statue here at Busch Stadium, we cannot begin to tell you how much that means.
There for every headline, every heartbreak, every heartbeat. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis. Brought to you by St. Louis Public Library, St. Louis's original search engine.
Discover one of St. Louis's greatest treasures, St. Louis Public Library's Central Library. Designed by world-renowned architect Cass Gilbert and completed in 1912, this Beaux Arts masterpiece blends stunning historic details with modern design after a $70 million award-winning renovation. Experience the grandeur for yourself. Free docent-led tours are available Mondays at 11 and 12:30 and Saturdays at 11 noon and 1 p.m. Visit online at slpl.org to learn more. St. Louis Public Library.
St. Louis City SC is teaming up again with Enterprise to salute the people who make our city shine bright. The Exceptional Neighbor program presented by Enterprise is back, and now you can help us find the class of 2026. Nominate your friend, coworker, or anyone who's going above and beyond for the STL region, and they could be featured on the pitch during halftime. Go to stlcitysc.com/exceptional neighbor now through January 9th and tell us who you think deserves to be an exceptional neighbor. Presented by Enterprise.
Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is 7:20 and time for a check of traffic and weather. We start with Roger Brand, who's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we still have our troubles on 44, Debbie. Eastbound 44, there's a backup approaching Bowles. There's a crash just east of Bowles in the right lane. There's one on the right shoulder, a little further up the line, and then we have the one eastbound 44 at the North 270 exit ramp. So there's jam traffic in pockets from just a little west of Bowles all the way into 270 on eastbound 44. And again, it's more so the right lanes, although the left lanes do bunch up past that initial crash because the right lane's blocked there, so it's squeezing traffic down temporarily. And the South Service Road there is pretty busy, although at least it is moving. Folks are trying to get around that first crash and get on a little further up the line there east of Miraz. As far as interstates go, that's the biggest issue we've got. No delays on northbound 55. Festus all the way up through Bayless looks good. North 270 is just a little slow. Both sides of Gravoid. Southbound 61, eastbound 64 and 70 coming out of Wentzville. They're wide open downtown. Westbound across the Poplar Musel Veterans Bridges. No delays for Illinois motorists so far. Next update is 7:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
And checking that forecast for today, breezy and cold this morning. Then we'll see sunshine later. Chillier, though, than it has been. A high just 40 degrees today. Right now, we have sunny skies, 24 degrees downtown at the Arch.
The news continues at 7:22. The NASCAR community in mourning after a plane crash claimed the lives of Greg Biffle and his entire immediate family. Former driver, broadcaster, and St. Louis and Kenny Wallace says while Biffle won 19 Cup Series races, the loss goes far beyond racing statistics.
Greg Biffle, champion, winning race car driver, husband, father, so much to Biff, so much more to Biff than just driving that race car. Humanitarian.
The NTSB is investigating that crash, which happened not long after the plane took off from Statesville, North Carolina Regional Airport.
President Trump heads to Rocky Mount, North Carolina tonight as he kicks off campaign season for the 2026 midterm elections.
The president wants a Republican to win in North Carolina's newly redrawn 1st Congressional District. Several candidates are vying for the GOP nomination, including former National GOP Chairman Michael Whatley. But Trump will be talking about more than just North Carolina.
We've had tremendous success. We're bringing prices down. We inherited a mess.
Touching on many of the same issues he discussed in his presidential address.
The fact that we secured the border, where literally nobody can come into our country illegally anymore.
After the speech in North Carolina, President Trump will continue on to Florida to spend the holidays at his Mar-a-Lago estate. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, Washington.
President Trump is planning a 50-state showdown for America's 250th birthday. Some say it sounds a little like the Hunger Games.
Happy Hunger Games, and may the odds be ever in your favor.
The White House plans to host the Patriot Games in the fall of 2026. The 4-day event will feature one male and one female high school athlete from every state. Odds makers are already taking bets on potential winners, giving Illinois students 25-1 odds to take home the title, while Missouri athletes considered long shots at 50-1. California and Texas, the heavy favorites to win.
It's the end of an era for CBS television.
Finally, tonight, this is our last night anchoring the CBS Evening News.
And we want to leave you with some farewell thoughts tonight. Being invited into your homes each night has been the honor of a lifetime. This year, I've traveled the country to cover communities dealing with unspeakable tragedy and loss. How are you feeling right now? But shining brightly always was the heart and soul of everyday people. Really, really good people, there for each other, and crying out for our leaders to do better to protect them. David and Jackie Israel lost their home in the LA wildfires. They decided to take a bucket list trip, an RV ride across the country. They were deeply moved to discover how warm and kind and great everyday Americans can be. And what has always made CBS great is its dedicated team of journalists, exemplified by Marwan Al Ghul, our producer in Gaza. Despite bombs and bullets flying overhead, some even taking out members of his own family, he's brought the story home to America fearlessly. And for the relentless work of the entire team who've been fulfilling our commitment to following the facts, not opinions, and accurately informing you, I cannot thank this team enough. I've walked out of here each night extremely proud of the work we've done together. And you, our viewers, I cannot thank you enough for placing your trust in us. John, you're an outstanding journalist, an even better person. I've learned quite a bit from working with you. Proud to call you not just a colleague, but a friend.
Thank you, Maurice. You know, a year and a half ago, we didn't even really know each other. And you've become a model for me and a trusted friend. So thank you. What the viewers don't know is that long before they could see us, we were thinking about you, the viewers. Planning for months in a conference room, we talked about your attention, how precious it was, and how we would honor it. That question has guided the decisions you saw and many you didn't. A research team that sweats the facts that shape how you see the world. Correspondents who follow the facts into war zones, into countries where they could be jailed, into sharp exchanges with the powerful who don't like being held to account, including a president who insulted them for it.
Why do you blame the Biden administration
Because
for
they
what
let
this
him
man
in.
did?
Are you stupid?
Stories of wonder, of loss, of courage, asking why until the answers ran out. It has been an honor to put the work of our correspondents, producers, editors, and writers before you, and to work with my partner Maurice, who put his heart into our shared concern, doing right by you. Your expectation has been our responsibility and our reward.
That it has, my friend. And so for one last time, that is the CBS Evening News. I'm Maurice Dubois.
I'm John Dickerson. Thank you for watching.
And good night, and good luck.
It is now 7:27, and that is a little music from Trans-Siberian Orchestra. And if you would like to go see Trans-Siberian Orchestra December 23rd at 3 p.m. at Enterprise Center, be our fifth caller right now at 314-955-1120, 314-955-1120. Caller number 5 gets the tickets. Good luck. It is now 7:27, and the time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelley Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking.
I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code RAIN to get up to a $5 per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code RAIN to get up to a $5 per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code RAIN.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. We are now selling at the Reserve in Wildwood at the coveted location of Highway 100 and 109. You will love this outstanding community featuring serpentine streets, trails, a neighborhood park with gazebo, playground, and fire pit. Choose from our popular Liberty or Designer Series homes. You can experience our legendary quality with stunning exteriors, including beautiful front porches and featuring James Hardy siding. Visit McKelveyHomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, haven't practiced in a long time, but I did plaintiff's work and defense work, so I have a pretty good understanding of it. I have a pretty good idea of who's who in the firmament of plaintiffs' attorneys. And for my money, Mark Cantor is the guy. He's a great attorney. He is a great practitioner. He's put together a great team. He was born and raised here. He lives here. He works here. He wins here. Call 314-628-ALL-9s or CantorInjuryLaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision. It should not be based on advertisement.
At 7:30, we have clear skies, 24 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch.
I'm Debbie Monterrey. This is Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, most of the metro area looks great. The Fenton Sunset Hills area is the busiest stretch of roadways we're dealing with this morning. So we've had 3 separate crashes. They cleared the one that had the lane blockage. That was the first one you come up on eastbound 44 to east of Bowles. There's still the one on the right shoulder east of there, and then the one at the ramp to North 270. So you still have delays approaching Bowles most of the way to 270 on eastbound 44. And the further east you get, it's more just the right lanes than the left lanes to that point. Northbound 270 through Gravois midway up to 44. That's busy. Also kind of slow north of Doherty Ferry up to Manchester. More folks are taking eastbound Highway 30. It's not a solid jam, but it's busy from almost West Watson up the hill to 270 as well. North 55, though, looks great. Festus in the downtown looks good out west, 64 and 70. Southbound 61 coming out of Wentzville, no delays in downtown. Westbound 55, 70, and 64 is still clear sailing across the bridges. Next update at 7:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It is a cold morning this morning, breezy as well. We should see plenty of sunshine today, though, a high just 40. Clear this evening, then becoming partly cloudy and breezy late tonight with an overnight low of 34. Right now we have a little bit of sunshine, 24 degrees downtown at the Arch.
By the way, congratulations to Stacy in Fenton, who picked up our final pair of Trans-Siberian Orchestra tickets. It's 7:32, and the city of St. Louis is asking for the public's help in funding the fight against homelessness.
Mayor Kara Spencer is announcing the Winter Shelter Fund, a new plan to crowdsource donations to the nonprofit shelters to help increase capacity. She says all the funds raised will go towards these shelters.
Our nonprofit partners, we know they do exceptional work. They do their own fundraising. They have leaned into federal funding and this city funding this year, but the need is so enormous. We're asking for community to step up.
Spencer hopes to raise $250,000 by the end of 2025, anticipating a frigid January and February. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
We've learned the identity of the youth shot and killed Wednesday night in South St. Louis.
City police say officers found 14-year-old Samuel Williams of St. Louis wounded in the 3600 block of Oregon that's in the Gravois Park neighborhood. Police Department spokesperson Mitch McCoy.
We are looking for a dark-colored sedan that has ballistic damage to that vehicle. Anyone that sees possibly a dark-colored sedan or vehicle with ballistic damage is urged to call 911 immediately.
Brad Choate, KMOX News.
A proposed 105-foot cell phone tower is getting pushback in South St. Louis County. The company, Selective Services, has asked for the tower to be put on St. Catherine's property near Sappington and Lindbergh. No final decision has been made on that tower.
Missouri conservation agents have been busy chasing down illegal hunting cases this fall. Department of Conservation Director Jason Sumners tells the State Conservation Commission about the case of a poached bear in southern Missouri's Ozark County.
The poachers responsible for killing a bear had shot it with a crossbow over a pile of corn while archery deer hunting. After processing the bear, they even falsely labeled the bags as deer meat to cover their tracks.
The bear was killed in late September, roughly 3 weeks before the start of black bear hunting season in Missouri. 9 black bears were legally hunted and killed during this year's season, which ran from October 18th through the 31st.
It is 7:34. In about 7 minutes, we'll get you updated on the forecast, but it's going to be 40 today, 55 tomorrow, then 42 Sunday, 49 Monday, 63 on Tuesday. The weather sponsored by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. It's a win-win, so what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Hey guys, Dave Glover here for the Dave Glover Show. So, what is my show? My show is 4 different people living 4 different lives, all coming together every day between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. to talk about life, actual life, not so much headlines or did you see what Trump did today or XYZ. Never predictable because I never know what I'm going to talk about from one segment to the next. So it truly is unique and unpredictable. Join us.
104.1 FM, KMOX.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/life.
See website for details. Bills Happen is not a lender and does not make credit decisions. Hey, bills happen! So when you need extra cash fast, go to billshappen.com. Have you been turned down? Are your credit cards maxed out? Do you have bad credit? Go to billshappen.com. You can find a lender and get up to $5,000 cash as early as tomorrow. Billshappen.com is safe, secure, and all online. Just remember, when you need cash, go to billshappen.com. Billshappen.com for the cash you need now. Billshappen.com.
7:36, time for your money report, sponsored by Busey Bank.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. TikTok's Chinese owner ByteDance has signed agreements to hand control of the wildly popular short video app's U.S. operations to a group of investors, including Oracle. It's a big step toward avoiding a U.S. ban and ending years of uncertainty. Nike investors running for cover this morning. The sneaker giant forecasts shrinking sales and margins for its third quarter. A rebound in North America is running up against costs from tariffs and also struggles in China. And yesterday's gains for the S&P 500 weren't enough to make up for days of losses. That's leaving the benchmark on track for its first back-to-back weekly decline since June. Traders today will focus on data, including consumer sentiment and existing home sales. And the beauty company Coty has sold its remaining stake in Wella Hair Care to KKR for $750 million in cash. Coty shares have slumped more than 50% over the past 12 months. I'm John Tucker, Bloomberg Radio.
This is the run my own business dream. This is the colleges paid for dream. This is the retire early dream. This is Busey, where your dreams and possibilities become moments. Through trusted guidance and expertise, through lifelong relationships. Because we're here to help you achieve the life you've always envisioned. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
Hey, Cardinal Cowboy here. Who would have thought a car crash would have led to charities, TV shows, and cheering with the best fans in the world? I'm thankful for every day. And so are my friends at Renner Garage Door. They've been turning garage doors from zero to hero since 1966. With help from trusted brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster, honest family-style service you can count on. So giddy up and get your free repair or replacement quote today. Giddy up!
RENNER, RENNER.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
Staples presents An Easy Holiday.
Running a small business during the holidays is hard.
No truer words were.
But this year, Staples helped me have an easy holiday.
Your script has a typo.
Nope, easy peasy. I just ordered online at staples.com and picked up in store. And with UPS on site, shipping was easy too. Plus, huge savings on tech, custom cards, even my holiday sales signage.
Visit your local Staples store or staples.com today for up to 45% off select laptops.
That was easy.
Ins 12/27.
250 years ago, a promise was made to connect families and friends near and far. And during the holidays, that promise is more important than ever. That's why USPS is building a better network to meet your needs with timely deliveries, easy and affordable ways to ship, and everything you need to make your season full of holiday cheer. Our purpose is delivering your peace of mind, knowing your love will arrive, bringing joy to all. The United States Postal Service. Learn more at USPS.com/holidays.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. You can too. YourEyeDoc.com.
Bernie Miklas here for Saliga Heating and Cooling. Our family's called the Saliga family for 18 years, and we are grateful for Saliga's honesty, knowledge, and professionalism. They're the best. For more info, visit SaligaHeatingandCooling.com.
Sunday, it's men's Billikens basketball as they hit the court to face New Hampshire. Pregame 1:45, tip at 2 on your home for Billikens basketball. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Sponsored by Telly Tire and Auto Centers. Take it to Telly.
Hey, let's get you caught up on traffic. And Roger Brand has the very latest for us from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we're at our peak rush hour time period right now, Debbie. And it's not terrible. Northbound 55 is a little slow into 67. There's a little bit of a slowdown River to Pear up through Loughborough. North 270, the heaviest stuff is north of Big Bend, Doherty Ferry area up to Manchester. 44 continues to be heavy, but better than it was. We still have slow going eastbound 44, east of Bowles, most of the way to the Merrimack River Bridge. We had 3 separate crashes out there. One still on the right shoulder about midway along the line in that run. If you're on eastbound Highway 70, there's a little slowdown through Wentzville Parkway. It's a little slow approaching 94. It's a little slow through Cypress and coming up the hill between Florissant Road and Bermuda. Eastbound 64 at Prospect, just a little crowded there. Downtown westbound 64, again, just a little busy at the Illinois end of the Poplar. So all in all, not bad. Next update is 7:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
One little light can stall out your entire day, the check engine light. So I reached out to my go-to problem solver. Dad, what do? He didn't miss a beat. Take it to Telly, he said. So I did. But they didn't just fix my car. They fixed my day. Take it to Telly.
It is 7:40, and let's see what kind of weather we have in store for the weekend. Joe Lundberg joins us from AccuWeather. Joe, it's a cold start this morning, though.
Oh, no doubt about it. There's still a gusty wind, Megan, so it's just making it feel that much worse. Real feels right now hovering in the single digits and low teens. It'll be a sunny day today. Thankfully, the wind will let up, but it's not going to warm up very much. We'll rebound to about 40, and that's it. Tonight starts out clear. Then it becomes partly cloudy. The breeze picks up out of the south, and that'll send temperatures upward from an evening low of 34. Tomorrow, a breezy, warmer start to the weekend with some sunshine and a high of 55. Another front comes through with little fanfare tomorrow night. Sunday will be cooler behind it with sun and some clouds and a high in the low 40s. Clouds increase Monday. We get into the upper 40s. Then it turns warmer starting on Tuesdays. Clouds will break for some sun. We get to 63. And I think we're in the 60s Wednesday and maybe near 70 on Christmas Day with sunshine. Currently 23 at St. Peter's, and in Florissant, it's clear. 25 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
I'm Joe Pott. The Cardinals introduced Dustin May yesterday. We'll hear from him and Chaim Bloom. Straight ahead in sports.
It is 7:42. The Cessna C550 jet carrying 7 people, including retired NASCAR champion Greg Biffle and his family, crashed near the runway Thursday morning at the Statesville Regional Airport in North Carolina, killing all on board. We get more from CBS's Christian Benavides.
First responders raced to the scene as tall flames and a massive plume of black smoke filled the air. Brevin Renwick lives nearby and saw the crash happen.
Very heart-wrenching to view. Lives were lost in that.
The plane was registered to Biffle. NASCAR says he, his wife Christina, and their 2 children, 14-year-old Emma and 5-year-old Ryder, were among the 7 victims. Father and son Dennis and Jack Dutton also died, along with Craig Wadsworth, who worked as a motorhome driver in NASCAR.
Wadsworth was a close friend of St. Louis racer Kenny Wallace. Wallace says Wadsworth, who used to drive his motor coach too, lived by a simple philosophy that changed Wallace's own outlook on life.
Craig is the one. He is the man that taught me and saved my life and created 2 words, this wonderful phrase: no drama.
If United Healthcare and SSM Health don't come to an agreement by the end of the month, roughly 51,000 Missourians will lose out-of-network coverage. State Department of Commerce and Insurance Director Angela Nelson tells MissouriNet healthcare costs are rising at a much faster pace than inflation.
My understanding is SSM has asked for a 14% hike in their rates over 2 years. That would mean an increase for United of about $41 million a year.
The higher rates could then be passed on to Missouri businesses and their employees.
The NCAA trying to stop a new prediction market that would let people bet on whether college athletes will transfer. The company Kelley notified federal regulators Wednesday that it has certified markets for the transfer portal, meaning users could trade shares on whether a specific player at Mizzou or Illinois stays or goes.
NCAA President Charlie Baker slammed the move as absolutely unacceptable, warning that students already face abuse from gamblers over game outcomes and shouldn't have their life decisions bet on as well. Kelley says it hasn't actually launched the trading yet, but the football transfer window opens in just a few weeks. The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com.
Well, the Cardinals made the signing of 28-year-old right-handed pitcher Dustin May official yesterday. May appeared in 25 games last year, making 23 starts, splitting time between the Dodgers and the Red Sox. He was 6-7 with a .482 ERA in 19 games and 18 starts for the Dodgers, where he was originally drafted in the 3rd round in 2016. He made his major league debut in 2019 with LA. Cardinals held an introductory press conference yesterday via Zoom. Cardinals president of baseball operations, Chaim Bloom.
Just want to reiterate our excitement that Dustin May has decided to join us and become a Cardinal. We're really excited at what he brings to the table and the upside of this partnership. His youth and talent, and also the experience, the things that he's been through, and the chance to have a runway with us a little over a year removed from some pretty wild stuff on the injury and medical front. And as he continues his career, we're really excited for him to be able to do that here, and look forward to partnering with him to get the most out of him and position him for success so he can help us win.
May said he is excited to be in St. Louis.
We are thrilled and very, very happy to be with St. Louis. Just thrilled to have the opportunity to put the Cardinals uniform on and go out every 5th day and compete.
He was asked what made St. Louis attractive.
I thought it was definitely going to give me the best opportunity to go out and compete. They definitely reiterated the fact that they wanted me to come in. They wanted me to go out every 5th day and have the ball. And I feel like this gave me the best chance to be able to do that, and to do it on a team that I think is going to have a very good group of guys. I'm definitely very excited about the youth of this team, and I'm definitely excited to be a part of it.
Cards pitcher Dustin May. The opening round of the college football playoff kicks off tonight at Memorial Stadium in Norman, Oklahoma. CBS Sports reporter Erica Herskowitz gives us a preview.
Tonight marks the second meeting of the season for the SEC foes. 8th-seeded Oklahoma will be taking on 9th-seeded Alabama after already upsetting the then number 4 Crimson Tide in Tuscaloosa back in mid-November. This time, though, Alabama head coach Kalen DeBoer knows the stakes are much higher.
Awesome opportunity for our football team to go up against, a very good football team in Oklahoma and Coach Venables. And so I'm looking forward to everything that comes about.
The winner advances to the quarterfinals to face top-seeded Indiana in the Rose Bowl on January 1st. Kickoff is set for 8 p.m. Eastern. Erica Herskowitz for CBS News.
That's 7 o'clock St. Louis time, of course. And tomorrow there are 3 more games in the playoffs. 10th-seeded Miami at 7th-seeded Texas A&M, 11th-seeded Tulane at 6th-seeded Ole Miss, and 12th-seeded James Madison meets number 5, 5th-seeded anyway, Oregon. I'm Joe Pott on your home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
We're coming up on Christmas very quickly here. Christmas has been and always has been a religious holiday for a lot of people throughout the world. And if not religious, just a celebration for family and friends. It's also the time of year where, while you might be enjoying or you like the holidays, there's people that are suffering, which this time of year is a really, really hard time of year for them. There's people that are suffering this Christmas because this could be their first Christmas without their loved one, husband, wife, mother, father, child, or their second, third, fourth, 10th, 12th Christmas. So for every one of us that believe in God, and we do pray, remember that in your prayers daily, and hopefully that helps and makes a difference and makes it a little bit better in somebody's life that is suffering right now. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. God bless.
Hey, St. Louis City SC fans, mark your calendars now. The Boys in Red return to Energizer Park to kick off Season 4 Saturday, February 21st. And you could be there for the dawn of a new golden era of St. Louis soccer. Go to stlcitysc.com/tickets and reserve your seat now for the MLS home opener versus Charlotte FC. Limited quantities remain. See you soon, St. Louis.
Nominations for the 2026 Women of Achievement are now open. The St. Louis Area Award is the oldest ongoing program in the area whose sole mission is to honor and recognize the volunteer service and volunteer leadership of women. If you know an outstanding volunteer in the St. Louis metropolitan area, or if you are one, Women of Achievement wants to hear from you. Nominations, including self-nominations, may be submitted now through January 11th. Head to KMOX.com for more information.
Your morning news and information. Total Information AM.
Let's see if there's still any backups on the roads on this Friday morning with Roger Brand. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, unfortunately, there still are on eastbound 44, Megan. We still have stop-and-go pockets eastbound 44. We had 3 separate crashes eastbound 44 between Bowles and 270. And so the end result is we're still seeing the delays coming through the area eastbound 44. That one, they finally have a flatbed on the shoulder and actually have the right lane block now, that middle crash we had. So it's still backed up Bowles most of the way to the Merrimack River. North 270, that's slow, Big Bend up through Manchester, and 64 to Ladue. South 270, south of Olive to Ladue, that's a little busy. Eastbound Highway 70, a little bit of volume. Bryan Road midway into K, approaching 94, Earth City into 270, and Lindbergh through Cypress toward Air Flight's kind of heavy. Northbound 55, that looks good all the way into downtown. And downtown, we're still good to go westbound across the Poplar and Musial Veterans Bridges. Next update at 7:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Today's going to be a high of just 40, although we'll have plenty of sunshine. Tomorrow warming up to 55, then back down to 42 for Sunday, 49 Monday, and 63 on Tuesday. By Christmas, it could be closing in on 70. Right now, though, it's sunny and 27 degrees downtown.
More news now at 7:52. What's expected to be a record-setting holiday travel season kicks off this morning. AAA says more than 122 million people will travel between Christmas and New Year's, a 2.2% jump from last year's record high of 119 million travelers. The FAA says the busiest day for flying will be today with nearly 52,000 flights scheduled.
Chicago's airports are preparing for the busy days ahead.
Nearly 4.8 million passengers are expected to travel through O'Hare and Midway airports beginning today through January 5th. The Chicago Department of Aviation says that total marks a nearly 6% increase over 2024's year-end holiday season. A bulk of that travel will be through O'Hare, with more than 4 million passengers expected over the next 2.5 weeks. New Year's Day is anticipated to be the lightest day of travel for the airport. If you're flying to and from Midway, Christmas Day is expected to be the quietest. Mallory Vorbroker, News Radio 1059 WBPM.
The U.S. Postal Service says tomorrow night is the Priority Mail Express cutoff for the contiguous U.S., meaning today is the last day to get your presents in the mail if you want them to arrive before Christmas Eve.
Fields full of perfectly good produce are going largely unharvested this holiday season. Farmers say it's the immigration raids across the country scaring farm workers away from this year's harvest. CBS News San Francisco's Scott Raitt spoke with Tony Serrano, who owns Family Farms Organics in Hollister, California.
Farm work is extremely hard, if not one of the hardest jobs.
Fear has been growing through the agricultural industry. There have been some high-profile immigration raids as more ag workers stay home. What does that mean for your local produce aisle?
It does start here. If we reduce the amount of production for whatever reason, you're going to notice that there's less of. Anytime there's less supply and the same demand, the prices are going to go high.
Blame it on estrogen. Correspondent Michael George has results of a new study on IBS.
Scientists say they may have the answer for why women suffer from irritable bowel syndrome far more than men. A UC San Francisco study found that the hormone estrogen can trigger pain in the colon and make women more sensitive to certain foods. The findings could pave the way for new treatments to help women with the common gastrointestinal condition.
Instacart customers could soon get a piece of a $60 million settlement. CBS's Jesse Mitchell.
Instacart has reached a $60 million settlement with the Federal Trade Commission over allegations the company engaged in deceptive marketing and billing practices. The FTC says the shopping and delivery service has agreed to refund impacted customers. In a statement, Instacart said it flatly denies allegations of wrongdoing, adding the settlement allows the company to, quote, move forward and remain focused on delivering value.
The FTC says Instacart also failed to stand behind its 100% satisfaction guarantee and that the company charged consumers for Instacart Plus subscriptions without their consent.
If you're in the mood for a good cry, head out to the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. this Saturday, where there will be a funeral service for the penny. Yes, the coin.
Aw, the last batch ever minted last month. So it's time to put the penny to rest. Mourners are being encouraged to bring their own pennies as a sign of respect. They're also being asked to dress in Victorian-era funeral clothes or Abraham Lincoln costumes. That should be interesting to see. It is 7:55.
Tom Ackerman here for Busey Bank, recognizing the Guardian Angel Settlement Association as a building community partner. Guardian Angel serves under-resourced community members, helping them take the first step on the path to possible. They assist over 5,000 individuals in our community through their early childhood education and social stability programs. To learn more about Guardian Angel, Google Guardian Angel STL. Busey Bank encourages you to get involved. Together, we can build community.
This is Pat Buring, Executive Vice President at Busey Bank. At Busey, community and giving back are at the heart of everything we do. We're more than a bank. We're your neighbors and your partners. We take pride in engaging with the communities we serve and building lasting relationships because our commitment to strengthening our communities is a top priority. Whether you're shopping local or giving back through volunteerism, every little bit counts. Join us at Busey Bank as we continue building the communities we call home.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-941-2255. That's 800-941-2255.
Got any gadgets? Get online protection. NordVPN has a ho-ho holiday deal just for you. Secure up to 10 devices with a single account. NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro feature helps you avoid malware, phishing, and annoying trackers. Just a few taps and you're safer online. Let your gadgets sparkle with online security. Go to NordVPN.com and get up to 77% off plus 3 extra months. NordVPN.
For residential and commercial heating repair, service, maintenance, or installation, contact Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. With over 50 years of HVAC service, get in your comfort zone this winter. Visit aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends Mark and Neil Gelman from the Gelman team of eXp Realty. If you want immediate cash for your home or to see what your home is actually worth in today's market, find out for free from the local experts. 314-336-1991. Go to thegelmanteam.com.
This is one of the most important Cardinals off seasons ever as the club heads into a new era under President of Baseball Operations Chaim Bloom, and the Countdown to Opening Day show is here for you. Which players will be back? Who will be traded? And what new names will be joining the roster? Which prospects are ready to take a big step? Join Mike Claiborne and me, Matt Pauley, and our many guests as we take you from the hot stove all the way through spring training. Catch the Cardinals Countdown to Opening Day show every Thursday night from 6 to 8 on the home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Let's check in with Roger Brandon, the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Debbie, they're still working with that middle crash. We had those 3 different crashes on eastbound 44 between Bowles and 270. They have the right lane. Well, at least it's partially blocked with a flatbed while they load up a car. So we're jammed from Bowles up to about midway between there and the Merrimack River Bridge on eastbound 44 right now. So bumper to bumper, and hopefully they won't be out there too much longer dealing with that. If you're on northbound 270, it's a little slow north of Gravois to approaching 44, a little slow down north of Doherty Ferry at Manchester, and then at 64. South 270 south of Oliveville Dew, that's a little heavy. Eastbound 64, a little slow at Lake St. Louis Boulevard. 70 bogs down from the Blanchette Bridge into 270. But after that, it looks like it's thinned out. East and westbound 64 around the Interbelt, not bad. It's just barely slow at Clayton Morrison. And downtown westbound, we're still clear across the Poplar and Musel Veterans Bridges. No issues there. Next update at 8:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We have sunny skies, 24 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch. These are the stories making news.
I'm Sean Malone with St. Louis County Executive Sam Page, no longer seeking re-election. There is one candidate in the race to replace him for the Democratic nomination. I've got that story coming up.
I'm Debbie Monterrey. A Metro East pizza joint backs the blue with a fundraiser for a wounded officer's family.
Ahead on Total Information AM, possible candidates and change of strategy for the county executive race, with Sam Page announcing he won't run for re-election. We'll get analysis from Hancock and Kelley.
And coming up in CBS News, a top Justice Department official expects hundreds of thousands of pages of Jeffrey Epstein documents to be released today, but not all of them. At the Tone, it's 8 o'clock in Mid-America.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood, the voice of St. Louis.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Brown University students are exhaling after police discovered the body of the suspected gunman in last weekend's mass shooting.
I definitely think there's a sense of relief in the community having found the person. I think that will make everyone feel a little bit better.
Officials tied that same person to the murder of an MIT professor near Boston Monday. CBS's Tom Hansen from Providence.
After almost a week of pleading with the public for help, police in Providence last night said 48-year-old Claudio Manuel Neves Valente of Portugal was the man who killed 2 students at Brown University Saturday, and say he was a former student there between 2000 and 2001. The search for Neves Valente ended 90 minutes from Providence in Salem, New Hampshire. He was found with a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Found in a storage facility there after police got a tip, they say, from a Reddit user. The suspect not only attended Brown, but also school in Portugal at the same time as the MIT professor. Today is the deadline for the Justice Department to release all of its files on the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche tells Fox they'll make several 100,000 public, but not all.
Over the next couple weeks, I expect several 100,000 more. There's a lot of eyes looking at these, and we want to make sure that when we do produce the materials we're producing, that we're protecting every single victim.
A jury in Wisconsin found Milwaukee Judge Hannah Dugan guilty last night of obstructing an official proceeding by helping an undocumented immigrant hide from ICE agents. Interim U.S. Attorney Brad Schimmel.
The defendant's actions provided an opportunity
for a wanted subject to flee outside that safe courthouse environment.
Dugan faces up to 5 years in prison. Her attorneys say they will appeal. U.S. military strikes on alleged drug boats have hit a new milestone. Correspondent Linda Kenyon from Washington.
5 alleged drug traffickers aboard 2 separate vessels have been killed in the Pacific, bringing the death toll from these encounters to more than 100. The Trump administration has been carrying out the boat strikes in the Caribbean and the Eastern Pacific since September. These latest attacks came the same day President Trump claimed he did not need congressional approval for the strikes against suspected drug cartels on land in Venezuela.
Ford is recalling more than 250,000 cars because they could roll away while they're parked. WWJ's Jeff Gilbert from Detroit.
This involves a number of 2022 through 26 model year Fords, including the F-150 Lightning, Mustang Mach-E, and Maverick. The integrated park module may fail to lock into the park position.
Dow futures down 8. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive. See why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive to stay protected on the road. See for yourself at progressive.com.
At 8:03, we have sunny skies, 24 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Friday, December 19th. I'm Megan Lynch. St. Louis County Executive Sam Page has decided not to run for a third term in 2026. In his announcement, Page says, quote, "Public service is noble work, and so is being present for your family. My family sacrificed alongside me for 7 years, and when this term ends, it's time to be fully present for them," close quote. He began revisiting his options after he was indicted on felony stealing charges for allegedly using taxpayer funds for an anti-Prop B flyer. Page's attorney, Matthew Radfeld, says no deal is in place between them and the Missouri Attorney General's office regarding the decision.
There is no deal, and in fact, the timing of this had really nothing to do with the hearing tomorrow. It's just something that Dr. Page wanted to get out before, the end of the year.
Attorney General Catherine Hanaway also confirmed there is no deal, saying this was that Page made the decision on his own. With County Executive Sam Page no longer seeking re-election, one candidate for the Democratic nomination remains.
State Senator Brian Williams is the only candidate currently in the Democratic primary race. He tells KMOX he views Page stepping down as an opportunity for St. Louis County to move forward.
Focus on fresh, energetic leadership to really give the county a new start.
Williams says that no longer having to run against an incumbent doesn't change his campaign strategy.
And I anticipate that voters will be receptive to what I've done and hopefully give me an opportunity to be able to lead as the next county executive.
Williams said he had not spoken to Page after his announcement. The primary election takes place in August. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
St. Louis County Council member Mark Harder, a frequent critic of Sam Page, told KMOX's Chris and Amy show he wasn't shocked by Page's announcement to not run for a third term, but he wonders what Page's lame duck status will mean in 2026 for county government.
He can do pretty much anything he wants to do without the political, ramifications of a re-election, and so he could be quite powerful if he wanted to be.
It's now 8:05. The pandemic killed plans for a $20 million all-season rec complex in Clayton. But city manager David Gibson says at today's council meeting, a new plan will be discussed.
That's all we're doing is getting to the point where we have fully developed construction drawings so that when we have the money available to do the actual project that we can move on it. We envision that the project ultimately will likely be a mix of public dollars and private donations through the Clayton Community Foundation.
Gibson says it'll go on the side of the old Shaw Park ice rink and will likely be a flex space that could host events, switch to a winter market or ice sheet, and in the summer have activities. They're also considering a beer garden. A man's been charged in a Jennings homicide investigation dating back more than 2 months. St. Louis County Police say detectives gathered enough evidence to arrest 45-year-old Cortez Cooper of Jennings on unlawful possession of a gun and evidence tampering counts. 35-year-old Isaiah Payne was found dead in the 8300 block of Eaton Place back on October 15th. United Healthcare customers in Missouri could lose their out-of-network insurance coverage at SSM at the end of this month.
That's if both sides fail to make a deal. The State Department of Commerce and Insurance tells MissouriNet about 27,000 Medicaid patients and 24,000 commercial members would be impacted in Missouri. Director Angela Nelson explains which patients that deadlock would not affect.
It does not impact Medicare. It does not impact Medicare Advantage, including seniors that are on something called a dual needs special plan. It will not impact those.
Health systems and insurance companies routinely negotiate how much insurers reimburse hospitals for screenings, checkups, surgeries, and many other services. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Meanwhile, there's good news for anyone with Aetna health insurance. That company came to an agreement with BJC Health, meaning BJC will remain in Aetna's coverage next year. Former News Channel 5 anchor Savannah Louie tells KMOX her victory on season 49 of Survivor wasn't just luck. She spent months training her brain before she ever stepped foot on the island.
I had been reading books on social strategy. I had been practicing all of these puzzles similar to the ones that you might see on the show. And I felt like I was ready.
Louis beat out 17 other contestants to take home the $1 million prize. From the business desk, sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com. Hundreds turned out Thursday for a Dine to Donate fundraiser in Granite City. The local Pizza World restaurant donated proceeds to the family of GCPD officer Tyler Timmons, who was wounded in the line of duty earlier this month. Store owner Ryan Wortham spoke out with news partners at Fox 2.
He goes out every day and puts his life on the line for us. And so I just figured, let's show up for him since he always shows up for us.
Wortham staffers report an additional cash donation jar was overflowing several times during the event. It's now 8:08. We'll check traffic and weather coming up in 2 minutes.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-568-2790. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-568-2790. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-568-2790. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-568-2790 or biglou.com.
Menards has everything you need to finish up your bathroom before Christmas. Homeworks creates faucets that will align perfectly with your style. Get water without turning on the lights with a LED bathroom faucet. The LED light is hydro-powered and requires no extra steps for installation. On sale now through December 24th. Stop into Menards and see all our Homeworks products and view our weekly flyer on menards.com for all our great deals.
St. Louis City SC is teaming up again with Enterprise to salute the people who make our city shine bright. The Exceptional Neighbor program presented by Enterprise is back, and now you can help us find the class of 2026. Nominate your friend, coworker, or anyone who's going above and beyond for the STL region, and they could be featured on the pitch during halftime. Go to stlcitysc.com/exceptional neighbor now through January 9th and tell us who you think deserves to be an exceptional neighbor. Presented by Enterprise.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Now the news at 9, The Talk. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
8:10. Let's get you updated on your ride into work. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we finally pretty well cleared out on 44, Megan. It's just a little busy approaching Miraz. We had 3 different crashes out there earlier today, and it was jammed most of the way from West of Bulls to 270, but not so any longer, so that's great to see. Northbound 55 looks great. Festus through Bayless. North 270 is wide open. 55 up through Gravois around Ladue. Both directions of 270 are still moving nicely. 64 and 70 coming in from Wentzville. No problems. I do see a bit of a jam on northbound 141 from 64 up through to Conway. Just be prepared if you're headed that way. It's a pretty solid backup, but after that, it opens up and it moves fine. Downtown, there's a little bit of a slowdown. We've been talking about this lane closure. The left lane's closed eastbound at the only end of the Poplar Street Bridge. They've been closed since earlier this week, and it'll be closed through Monday. So expect a rough afternoon drive home, and it's already slow eastbound at the Missouri end of the Poplar. Next update at 8:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We'll start out breezy and cold this morning. We'll see sunshine today, and it will be a chilly day. The high just 40. Clear this evening, but then turning partly cloudy and breezy late tonight. Our evening low 34. Temperature will slowly rise late tonight. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds, becoming breezy and noticeably milder in the afternoon, high 55. Sunday, more sun and clouds and colder again, high 42. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Sunny skies, 24 degrees now downtown at the Arch. This is Total Information AM on 104.1 FM KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. As you've heard here on KMOX, St. Louis County Executive Sam Page has announced he's not running for a third term in office. So let's look ahead to the race next year. In studio with me a little early on this Friday morning, Michael Kelley and John Hancock. Good morning to you both.
Morning.
Morning.
So first, for each of you, what's your reaction to this news?
I wasn't shocked. Sam Page had had a really rough couple of terms. He had gotten to a point where it was, even with a Democratic majority, he had become the most divisive figure on the county council. And we had a county that was just deadlocked, not on party principles, but on Sam Page. And so then you couple it with the indictment that came from the state, his inability to raise money over the last year or so, because I think people had just become fatigued with him. I'm not surprised he announced that he is stepping away. Now, I'm helping and working for groups that are supportive of Brian Williams and was doing that prior to over the last month or so. And I think Brian's just in a place with almost $800,000 in the bank account and an appetite in St. Louis County to really get past some of the nonsense that's existed since Steve Stanger and Sam Page.
Yeah, I expected them to not file. The timing was perhaps a little bit sooner than I would have expected because filing doesn't open until February. But, Sam Page was not going to be nominated by the Democratic Party in St. Louis County, I don't think. And but this does open up a potential primary field that could get kind of expansive.
I was going to ask you about that because so far the only Republican right now is County Councilman Dennis Hancock of Fenton. But we've heard of another Democrat, County Assessor Jake Zimmerman, who is considering this. Any other Republicans that you think might throw their hat in, John?
I wouldn't suspect there would be other Republicans. Dennis Hancock, no relation, is a sitting county councilman, and I suspect he will be the Republican nominee. But I do think the Democratic field could open up quite a bit. There's been talk about State Senator Doug Beck from South St. Louis County. You mentioned Jake Zimmerman. I think he's going to get in. And I wouldn't be surprised if one of the council members, perhaps Shalonda Webb, would get into this race as well.
Well, Shalonda Webb has already endorsed Brian Williams, but of course anybody could reconsider.
All's fair.
We've seen that elsewhere. I've heard the rumors about Jake Zimmerman as well. Jake has run countywide a couple of times. It's awfully hard to run from the tax collector's job to go up to the next level, but he would be a formidable opponent. But it's really hard, Megan, when you have a candidate who's got such a financial advantage. And in politics, even at a local county level, those who have the most money typically are able to keep others out. So while this may be enticing to some, they'll have to hit a high bar to be able to compete.
And let's not forget, this position is the most prominent Democrat position in the state of Missouri. The St. Louis County Executive represents almost 1 million people, and it has been a Democrat for the last 40 years. And there is no other more prominent Democrat elected in the state of Missouri than the St. Louis County Executive.
Well, and I also would say that it will be a Democrat. I mean, running in the Republican primary, while noble and getting out your message may make some sense, it's probably a fool's errand in that this county is going to go blue.
What do voters need to hear from any of these candidates?
Well, I'd like to hear them describe how they're going to solve the fiscal crisis that exists. There's an $80 million deficit this year. Next year is not looking any better. So I think that's one thing. And then, how we're going to be a growing community again. St. Louis County, like the city for decades, but St. Louis County more recently is losing population. The whole region's losing population. And that's, economically, that's not very sustainable.
I'm not sure we're going to hear many different messages than what we're seeing that's winning already, which is, number one, cooperation. There's been a disgust with, the county council and the county executive's office not being able to cooperate. I think all of the candidates will be saying, hey, I'm a person who can get along and find compromise. And then John's right. There's some serious challenges that face St. Louis County. But I think whatever candidates are successful will be the ones who talk about getting back to the basics, not talking about foreign policy and our thoughts over in Israel, not fighting on some maybe social issues, but really focusing back on roads, policing, schools, etc. I think those are the candidates who are going to win. You saw it with Kara Spencer. You saw it in New York. The candidates who are focusing on the basics are the ones who are winning.
Now, you mentioned some of the contention that we've had between the county executive and the county council members, but I'm wondering if the average voter is really as tuned into that as those of us that are immersed in this.
Well, that's true, but whether they, if they have a pulse and they're paying attention to the media almost weekly on Wednesday morning after the county council meeting, we would hear about a long meeting that had taken place and nothing happened. Voters are definitely going to start to understand it as cuts are going to have to be made. And these aren't cuts on fat. These are cuts that are going to go to policing, cuts that are going to go to the prosecutor's office. They've got some serious challenges, and the voters will be focused on that because that's the core issues that they care about, and that's what they want the county to be focused on.
Yeah, and St. Louis County, for as long as I can remember, was a very well-functioning, buttoned-up operation, and the county executive worked with the council, and the people got along. It really, even though these are partisan elections, St. Louis County really never functioned in a polarized fashion until now, and so I think voters do understand that there's a tremendous amount of dysfunction in the way the county is governed, and the stylistic approach of Brian Williams or these other candidates, I think, is going to be very important.
That's John Hancock and Michael Kelley. I'll be back in about 20 minutes. Can you give us a tease?
Well, Chris and Amy aren't here, so you're going to get us all the way till noon.
Fantastic.
How about that?
Doesn't get any better.
Got some juicy topics?
The juice is flowing, is all I can tell you.
Okay.
Hancock went to a party you're going to want to hear about.
All right. We'll hear from them in a little bit. Thank you both for joining me this morning a little bit early to talk about this. Well, coming up next on Total Information AM, the sale of TikTok looks like it is close to being finalized. We'll have more on that. First, though, let's get a check of the roads with Roger Brand. He's in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Megan, we're doing all right out there. This traffic reports a service of Pine Valley Assisted Living. If you're on eastbound 44, it's clear sailing now. Bowles into 270. South 270, a little busy coming down through Marshall Road to 44. I can't see a problem, but there is a little slowdown there. North 270, which is where you would expect to see volume, is wide open from 55 all the way up to Ladue. 55 from Festus to Bayless. That looks great. Eastbound 70 and 64 coming in from Wentzville across the Missouri River Bridge is fine. A little slowdown eastbound. Again, the left lane's closed at the Illinois end of the Papa Street Bridge, so eastbound is kind of slow in spots across the bridge over to about 3rd Street on 64, but westbound's clear across all the bridges heading into the city. Next update at 8:30 from the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We've had a cold morning this morning. We'll see sunshine today with a high around 40 degrees. An overnight low tonight around 34. And then tomorrow, partly sunny, breezy, warmer, a high 55. Right now, sunshine 24 in downtown St. Louis.
Looking for a beautiful, all-inclusive place for your loved one? Happy holidays from Pine Valley Assisted Living. Secure a room between now and January 31st and take advantage of our move-in special. Enjoy affordable rates with absolutely no hidden fees. Experience the beautiful life at Pine Valley. Visit rspseniorliving.com today.
Hey, it's John Hancock. Let me tell you about a really great day for us. It's the great day is when the Four Pretty Paws Mobile Pet Spa pulls into the driveway. Stacy comes out. Gus greets her. Stacy gets Gus. Gus is our dog. We call him an Icelandic sheepdog, but he's actually a mutt. And Stacy gets Gus. She puts him in the van right there in our driveway, gives him a wash, shampoo, trim, cuts his nails. He loves it. It is amazing. We will never go to a dog groomer outside of the home ever again because Four Pretty Paws comes to you. It's convenient. It's affordable. You can trust them. They've been around since 2018. Stacy's amazing. They're serving Southern Illinois now. And folks, if you got a dog that you love, imagine the groomer pulls up. Your dog is clean, trots out of the van, comes into the house smelling good, looking good. For Pretty Paws, FOUR prettypaws.com. They are absolutely amazing. Their mission is to provide the best grooming service for pets and the people who love them. For Pretty Paws, check them out. You'll never go back.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. This Christmas holiday, enjoy exclusive savings on our high-quality rechargeable hearing aids. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and shop Christmas holiday deals before they're gone at audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ETHOS.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This holiday season, when you get them Steel, batteries are included. Buy select battery tool sets and get a free extra battery. Visit SteelUSA.com for gift ideas and seasonal savings. Happy holidays from Steel. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
You're back with Total Information AM on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. TikTok has agreed to sell to 3 American investors: Oracle, Silver Lake, and MGX. For more on that sale, KCBS Radio's Margie Schaefer spoke with CBS Tech contributor Ian Scher.
Essentially, what will happen is that 1/3 of the company will be held by affiliates of existing ByteDance investors, and nearly 20% will be retained by ByteDance. And then there's this consortium that is in the U.S. And it's an interesting kind of situation. As you know, we've been going through this drama for almost half a decade now, where President Trump, during his first term, said that TikTok was a national security threat, wanted to ban it from U.S. shores. President Biden, when he was president, picked up that idea and actually got Congress to write a law, passed it, and set a ban in place. And then by the time President Trump was starting his second term, TikTok had become one of the most popular social networks in the world, used by more than 170 million Americans, and a lot of them young potential voters. And so he's been delaying that ban from U.S. shores for ever since he came into office in January. And now it seems as though by getting the sale done, it's going to, in theory, meet the requirements that this law has, that TikTok be owned by U.S. interests and not by a company that is in an adversarial country.
So it's essentially a joint venture. What will Oracle's role be?
Well, Oracle's already had a relationship with TikTok before. They've been doing a lot of the data center and data storage kind of work, and they've been involved in the conversation around TikTok for a long time. Back when we were first going through this whole sale process, Oracle was one of the companies that came up as the possible bidder, another being Microsoft, but Microsoft kind of ended up bowing out in the end. So, it's interesting because on some level, TikTok being one of the largest social networks in the world, it's not like the most powerful and richest companies are able to buy it, because the most powerful and richest companies have social networks of their own, right? YouTube is at Google, Facebook obviously at Meta, and you've got all these other antitrust concerns. Part of what makes Oracle appealing is that they don't have a social network. They are a business-oriented database company. And so in a lot of ways, it makes it easier for antitrust concerns because they're not really consolidating any of the social networking stuff.
I remember there was talk a lot about the algorithm, the algorithm that TikTok uses and how dangerous it was. And this was a sticking point. So does China still have the algorithm?
Yeah, it's interesting. The U.S. venture, the quote that they've put out about it, and this is coming from a memo that was sent around that's been confirmed by Axios and a few others. Essentially, what will happen is that the U.S. entity will have authority over U.S. data protection, algorithm security is the term they use, content moderation, and software assurance. So that could mean that they'll have some perspective on the algorithm, but it also leaves open the door possibility. And this is part of the reality of we don't know all the details, that the content recommendation algorithm is going to be still, it's going to be somehow tied back to China. There is an element of this deal that allows retraining of content recommendation and user data in the US, but it's really messy and hard to tell whether or not it means in the end of the day there's going to be a different algorithm here in the US, and whether the Chinese version of TikTok, which has that original algorithm that's been so successful, is going to be handed over to this consortium.
That is Margie Schaefer with CBS Tech contributor Ian Scher here on KMOX. It's now 8:27, and this time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelley Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Hi, Margaret with Eamon Gantner and Capriano. We all procrastinate. We put things off, confident we'll have time later. Well, one who procrastinates in choosing will inevitably have their choices made for them by circumstance. Could be an illness or even a death. And it happened to me. I was widowed at 41. It could happen to you. If you procrastinate and fail to plan for your future, for your children, circumstances and the courts will make your plans for you without your input. Eamon Gantner and Capriano help thousands of families plan for their future now. We can be your personal attorney too, guiding you with a will, trust, powers of attorney, Medicaid, and VA. You may delay, but time does not. Eamon Gantner and Capriano, yourestateMatters.com.
The choice of an attorney is an important decision and shouldn't be based solely on advertising.
Got any gadgets? Get online protection. NordVPN has a ho-ho holiday deal just for you. Secure up to 10 devices with a single account. NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro feature helps you avoid malware, phishing, and annoying trackers. Just a few taps and you're safer online. Let your gadgets sparkle with online security. Go to NordVPN.com and get up to 77% off plus 3 extra months. NordVPN.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
8:30, it is a Friday morning, so typically those are quieter. And let's see if things are winding down out there on the roads with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, they never really got wound up for most folks, Megan, which is nice to see. Like I said, Friday mornings tend to be lighter. Right now, all we're dealing with is, the one thing I've been watching, and I can see it now, it's a crash. I talked about that delay. South 270 coming down from south of Big Bend to 44. The right lane is closed before you get to 44, so it's backed up at Big Bend. Not a solid jam, but it's pretty congested on South 270. Again, primarily the right-hand lanes there. East to westbound 64 getting onto the Interbeltway, an incident on North 170 just north of 64, so those right lanes are backed up there. But other than those couple of issues, the rest of these interstates look great out there right now. Next update at 8:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Sponsored by Telly Tire and Auto Centers. Take it to Telly.
One little light can stall out your entire day, the check engine light. So I reached out to my go-to problem solver. Dad, what do? He didn't miss a beat. Take it to Telly, he said. So I did. But they didn't just fix my car. They fixed my day. Take it to Telly.
From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Center, breezy and cold this morning. Sunshine later today. It'll be chilly, though. Compared to recent days, a high just 40. Tomorrow we'll get to a high of 55. Right now we've got sunny skies, 24 degrees downtown at the Arch. The DOJ has vowed to punish people who disrupt President Trump's immigration crackdown. Dozens of cases have crumbled at this point. The AP's Jennifer King has an update.
The Department of Homeland Security says assaults against ICE agents have skyrocketed in the past year. And Attorney General Pam Bondi has ordered prosecutors to charge those accused of assaulting federal officers with the highest provable offense available under the law. But an AP review finds the Justice Department is struggling to deliver on that commitment. Out of 166 cases brought since May in 4 Democratic-led cities, 58 people face felony indictments and are awaiting trial on a variety of assault allegations, like throwing rocks or punching or kicking officers. 55 people have seen their charges reduced or dismissed. All 5 who have gone to trial were acquitted.
I don't think what I did was brave or anything, earth-shattering.
It took jurors less than 2 hours to acquit Sydney Lori Reed after she was charged with injuring a federal agent during a Washington, D.C. protest.
I was detained for 2.5 days without being read my rights.
Body camera footage played at the trial revealed the agent had scratched her hand on a wall while assisting another agent who shoved Reed.
Mind your own business. That's all you have to do. Mind your own business.
When I first read the complaint, I was just like, they're lying. They're lying.
Catherine Carreno was accused of striking a federal officer in Los Angeles.
But I kept telling myself, I am protected. Everything's going to be okay.
Former federal prosecutor Lori Levinson says the arrests are more about messaging to prevent further interference from protesters. Jennifer King, Washington.
Your money report is next.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
Staples presents An Easy Holiday.
Running a small business during the holidays is hard.
No truer words were.
But this year, Staples helped me have an easy holiday.
Your script has a typo.
Nope, easy peasy. I just ordered online at staples.com and picked up in store. And with UPS on site, shipping was easy too. Plus huge savings on tech, custom cards, even my holiday sale signage.
Visit your local Staples store or staples.com today for up to 45% off select laptops.
That was easy.
Ins 12/27.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-269-3454. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-269-3454 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-269-3454 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-269-3454.
Time now for your money report, sponsored by Eamon Gattner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Oracle, long a focal point of concerns that the AI rally had become overheated, is rising more than 4% at pre-market trading. The company is leading a group of investors that signed binding agreements to bring TikTok's U.S. operations under an American-controlled venture. And stocks this morning poised to close out a choppy week on a steady note as traders gear up for the year-end stretch that's typically supportive of equities. If you're a trader, you still have to work. The NYSE and the NASDAQ say they won't alter their trading schedules on December 24th and December 26th after Donald Trump's executive order to close the federal government on those days. And before you jet off for the holiday season, remember that not every airline number online is legit. Travel scams are easy to stumble into when you're rushing. Reported losses from business imposter scams in the U.S. rose 30% to $835 million this year. I'm John Tucker, Bloomberg Radio.
Caesars Sportsbook is the only sportsbook app with Caesars Rewards. Bet on gridiron action and earn perks on every game, like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using promo code Radio250BM and get your first bet matched as a bonus bet up to $250 whether you win or lose. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Missouri. Open to new users only. Minimum odds -500. Awarded as non-withdrawable bonus bet that expires 14 days after receipt. Bonus bet amount not returned for winning bets. Void where prohibited. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Setting goals for retirement is one thing, but knowing how to achieve those goals is another.
What are your wishes, hopes, and dreams? What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody, that picture is different.
For tips on building a better nest egg, tune in to the All Financial Hour with host Steve All, Saturday mornings at 10 or Sunday evenings at 6, right here on KMOX. You can also visit yourmoneymattersstl.com for more details.
You know how we all of our kids make lists and everything and visit with Santa, and I happen to be really good friends with Santa. It's like we're the same people. So every once in a while, you know, when he's got some free time, which he did, we're cool. So he always makes it a point to stop in and have an adult beverage with me. I was talking to him about, do you ever have requests for a homeowner wanting a furnace or an air conditioner? He said he does. And I said, so what do you do? Do you deliver on that? Because I'm your best bud and you never let me know. So I've never delivered anything or put anything together. But he said he was going to leave my number and my card. If you don't find it, here's what's on my card. Bart Inman, one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. It's 314-293-2600 or bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. Merry Christmas and God bless.
Lifestyles Unlimited is a real estate education group that gives you the roadmap and resources to start building income through real estate. You'll learn practical strategies for using investment properties to create extra income and make informed decisions, one step at a time. Join today for just $297. That's a 60% savings off the regular price of our real estate education program. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
This is 104.1 FM KMOX. Here's what's happening. Scientists say they may have the answer for why women suffer from irritable bowel syndrome far more than men. A UC San Francisco study found it's the hormone estrogen. Instacart has reached a $60 million settlement with the Federal Trade Commission over allegations that the company engaged in deceptive marketing and billing practices. And Tennessee's governor has pardoned country music star Jelly Roll, a Nashville native who for years has spoken about his criminal record and his path to finding redemption. 8:40, time for another check of the roads with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Megan, it looks like they just cleared that crash on the southbound 270 before 44. This traffic reports a service of Financial and Tax Strategies. There's still a backup, a jam, actually, approaching Big Bend most of the way to there, but it'll probably thin out pretty quickly. Opposite direction rush hour flow, and all lanes, like I said, are open now. There's still heavy traffic eastbound 64 ramping on to north 170. Northbound, westbound to northbound's not as bad. There was an earlier incident, but it looks like that's also been cleared. Northbound, Tesson Ferry, Butler Hill headed up through Bauer to Schuessler. There's a little congestion there, but really interstate-wise, we're in great shape for you on both sides of the river with the exception of that South 270 backup. I'm Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Retirement shouldn't feel like balancing a checkbook while blindfolded. I'm Gary Goldberg, and my team helps you see the big picture so you can retire younger, richer, and with less anxiety. Because guessing is not a strategy. Tune in to Wealth and Wisdom with Gary Goldberg Saturday mornings at 7 here on KMOX.
Time for the Friday edition of Hancock and Kelley.
You two belong together.
John Hancock, Michael Kelley on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Good morning, John Hancock.
Top of the morning.
I have figured out what the Blues need.
Okay, they need to score.
They need me to go to the games.
Oh.
I went to my first Blues game this week.
Yeah.
On Wednesday.
Yeah.
We won them 1-0 against the
shut out
Winnipeg
by
Jets.
Joel Hofer, the backup goalie.
Yeah, he'd won. That was his 2 games in a row he had won, correct?
No, he lost the game before.
He had done, and then last night they pulled him and put in Bennington to start the game, and it didn't end well for us.
Well, they lost in overtime again.
Yeah.
So you're saying that when you go, the Blues win.
I think I should go all the time. And by the way, if you haven't gone to Blues games recently, first of all, the tickets are cheap.
Yeah.
I think I paid $50 to go to the game. I thought that was fairly
good seat.
Cheap. Yeah. We were down in the lower bowl right there in front of the net that the Blues shot at twice.
Wow.
And there's nothing more entertaining than live hockey.
I agree.
It goes by so quickly. It's not like football and baseball where there's long pauses and you're sitting around, wondering when this is going to get over with.
No, it's hockey is very exciting. And if you get down near the glass, boom, they bang into the glass right in front of you. The glass moves.
Yeah, and the crowd yells at them.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of yelling, that same night I was at the Blues game. The President of the United States spoke to the country. He yelled at us. He told us that things aren't as bad as it is. Drug prices are being cut by 700%.
That's remarkable.
By the way, I'm now signing up for every drug in the market because I figure they'll pay me to get their drug. On top of the soldiers' benefit and a speech, John, that was meandering, loud, and yelling. I don't know what the president's intention was on Wednesday night. What did you take away?
In the annals of presidential addresses to the nation, it was probably not in the top 10.
Yeah. And you have to wonder, right? Like, I expected that he was going to talk about what was going on in Venezuela and these boat strikes that are happening. And that's what the president didn't choose to do that. He continued to talk about affordability. This is a hoax brought up by the Democrats. Like, we're all not going to the grocery store and paying our bill. I know Donald Trump is a master of just repeating something and his people will believe it.
Right.
I don't think that dog's going to hunt as it relates to pricing because it's something we all see, and are living with.
Well, the thing is, the economy, there are some underlying signs that the economy may turn around in 2026. And if it does, then the midterms won't be as bad as I think they're going to be today. But if the economy situation is next, say, June, July, as it is now, I think you're potentially looking at a record midterm reversal by the electorate.
And historically, the party that's out of power, particularly the super minority, which is what the Democrats are right now, it's just people, this is how they are going to have their opportunity to show their displeasure. Hey, speaking of displeasure, did you see the chief of staff, Susie Wiles, was interviewed by Vanity Fair 11 times, John? Now, you and I talk to reporters for a living at times. I'm not sure I've ever spoken to one reporter 11 times.
It's curious, isn't it?
And comes out and has some really salacious things to say about the president.
Yeah. And this is somebody, Susie Wiles, who prizes herself on being, under the cover,
Right.
She doesn't want to be in the spotlight. She's never done anything like this in terms of a detailed interview with a reporter. I think it's very curious. Now, the stuff she said, I think was informative. She was very frank. And I don't know if it's a sign that she's on her way out by her choice, because Trump's not going to cut her loose. She's been a very valuable asset to Donald Trump, particularly during his the period between his presidencies. And this is a woman that has been active in Florida politics forever, had been Ron DeSantis's political strategist, and then flipped over and went to work for Donald Trump, much to the chagrin of DeSantis. So that's a falling out there. I just wonder if that interview doesn't portend an exit from her out of the White House.
Well, the president did everything but get down on his knees and talk about how great she was and that he wanted her to stick around.
She's been a very, very valuable asset for him.
And then they slipped into standard operating procedure at the White House, which is to say this was a hoax. This is the liberal media. And Vanity Fair then reminded them all of this is on tape.
Yeah, and 11 interviews. I mean, if you thought you were getting worked over by a reporter, you probably wouldn't go back for the, 6th time, 7th time, 8th time.
There's so much to talk about as it relates to Donald Trump, but there is a big deadline that hits today. We're going to step aside. When we come back, we'll talk about the Epstein files. They were going to be released on day 1. Maybe tonight you'll see them after this on KMOX.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The holidays were tricky for the Colonel. He loved people, but he also loved peace and quiet. So he cooked up KFC's $4.99 chicken pot pie. Warm, flaky, with savory sauce and vegetables. It's a tender chicken-filled excuse to get some time to yourself and step away from decking the halls, whatever that means. The Colonel lived so we could chicken. KFC's chicken pot pie, the best $4.99 you'll spend this season.
Prices and participation may vary while supplies last. Taxes, tips, and fees extra. Selling your home, it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. You could go it alone, trying to navigate market trends, determine fair pricing, and tackle tricky negotiations on your own. You could second guess every decision, wondering if you're doing it right. Then there's the showings, the offers, and the mountain of paperwork. Or you could work with the expertise of a realtor, here to guide and help protect as you make your next big move. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
Bernie Miklas here for Saliga Heating and Cooling. Our family's called the Saliga family for 18 years, and we are grateful for Saliga's honesty, knowledge, and professionalism. They're the best. For more info, visit SaligaHeatingandCooling.com.
Hey, St. Louis City SC fans, mark your calendars now. The Boys in Red return to Energizer Park to kick off Season 4 Saturday, February 21st. And you could be there for the dawn of a new golden era of St. Louis soccer. Go to stlcitysc.com/tickets and reserve your seat now for the MLS home opener versus Charlotte FC. Limited quantities remain. See you soon, St. Louis.
It is bonus Hancock and Kelley day today. We'll be with you all the way till noon as Chris and Amy are both out.
So you're Chris and I'm Amy. Is that how this works?
Well, yeah, I think so. Chris would be more left of center. And being that you're the more dainty of the two of us, it would only make sense that you would be playing the role of Amy. Mark scores.
There you go.
Hey, you'll remember, John, we had the big government shutdown and we had Speaker Johnson sent everybody home because many people suspected that they didn't want to do this release of the Epstein file vote. That wound up taking place. President Trump promised us when he was running for president. Those were coming out on the first day. Today is the deadline that the law that was passed by Congress required the Department of Justice to release the Epstein files. Have you been holding your breath that we're going to get to see everything?
No, I don't. And I don't think we are going to get to see everything. You know, there's plenty of ways for the White House to withhold some of the documents. They got this clause where they're under, quote, ongoing investigations that will allow them to withhold some documents. There's undoubtedly going to be redactions. Everybody agrees that the victims' names need to be redacted, but will those be the only redactions? I kind of doubt it. And so we'll get some information, but I don't know that there's going to be I would be shocked if there was some sort of bombshell that involved the president.
Well, we will keep our eyes peeled on that. And then, of course, Congress is going home today, John Hancock. Many people speculate that they're going home because they don't want to have to answer questions as it relates to the Epstein files. I think it's the fact that there's this discharge petition as it relates to healthcare. We continue to see, by the way, have you ever seen this many Republican or majority parties jumping to the minority to pull a discharge of a piece of legislation?
It's such a rare congressional, and we've had two of them now,
right?
The Epstein files and now this healthcare subsidy. Partly it's because the Republican majority in the House is so thin. So it only takes literally a handful of Republicans to sign on with the Democrats to discharge and require a vote on the floor. That's going to happen probably early next month. But, you know, the idea of discharge petitions being a thing is not something we've seen at all, and certainly not something we've seen twice in one Congress, I think, in the history of the country.
So this discharge petition is essentially to continue the subsidies that it relates to Obamacare,
right?
Which doesn't look like they'll get renewed now between now and the end of the year. The industry has said, the healthcare industry, meaning the insurance companies, have said, we're going to raise premiums as a result of this. This seems like a really crazy cliff the Republicans are running to. I get that you don't like Obamacare, but you've been promising another solution, and Donald Trump seems to me to be running Republicans into a place that is really going to be detrimental to them as it relates to one of the more core things that people focus on, which is healthcare costs.
Well, and the political implications of rapidly rising premiums for American voters is, the politics of it are pretty clear to me. If they don't do anything, then you've got all these people that are on the Obama exchanges, their premiums are going to go up. And then what happens, the ripple effect of this is pretty extreme, because the youngest and healthiest people are just going to not have insurance.
Get out of the system.
They're going to get out of the system. And when the younger and healthier people get out of the system, then it's going to raise the healthcare costs for everybody. And so everybody's premiums are going to go up likely as a result of this thing. And I can't think of a more, given the fact that the economy is where it is, and if you inject into that political system massively increased healthcare costs on the American people, you shouldn't expect a very positive result at the polls come next November.
Well, and then it's expected to hit everybody's healthcare premium. So you have the major corporations. We can all say, oh yeah, they can absorb it. They can afford it. As a small business owner myself, I mean, healthcare is the second largest expense I have after payroll.
Of course.
And if you double that cost on me, it really puts me in a spot. Of course, I'm going to do the right thing and provide healthcare, but it could make a decision on how many people I have.
Well, you're not on the exchange, so your healthcare is probably not going to double, but it'll go up for sure. It would go up regardless. If even if the subsidies continued, healthcare premiums are going to go up. Now, the one thing I will say that Republicans are proposing out there that I have long advocated, this goes back 20 some years when then Senator Jim Talent was advancing this idea, is the idea of association health plans, where small groups can band together and create a larger pool and then go out and purchase insurance.
Well, that exists right now, because if you're a small business, you can purchase your health care through the Chamber of Commerce and get into a larger pool. So, but I mean, yes, you're right. They're going to expand it, but versions of that. The other thing they have is this healthcare savings account. President Trump's just saying, hey, let's just give everybody $4,000 and let them to decide where they're going to spend it on their healthcare. I guess that sounds all fine and well if you're wanting to get Botox, but what happens if you have a heart attack?
Right. You've got to have a catastrophic policy underlying it. And I also think getting rid of the onerous mandates of insurance coverages. Consumers ought to be able to buy an insurance policy, and if they just want to have catastrophic coverage, they ought to be able to buy that, but they can't, because there are so many. Your policy has to have this and this and this, and the mandates are part of what drives up the cost of health insurance premiums.
Since 1990s, you'll remember President Clinton ran. He said he was going to fix health care. They had Hillary Care that came out. Then we had Obamacare. President Bush had some ideas. President Trump says he wants to bring it. How come we, the richest country on the planet, can't figure this healthcare thing out? Why is it so much more expensive for us to have healthcare than it is to our neighbors to the north or over in Europe?
Well, my opinion is that we have divorced the consumer from the consumption. And because we all go through these insurance plans, the consumer's not making purchasing decisions about healthcare. And I think one of the things I like about health savings accounts is that it does empower the individual to make some real choices about the kind of health care they're going to get. And look, if you go get a procedure done today and you're insured, the cost of that procedure is higher than if you just go show up with no insurance and pay out of pocket. The cost is lower. There's something fundamentally broken in that system.
Do you think we'll see a target on the insurers from this administration as a solution? Because they play this intermediary role, right? Your doctor says you need a new hip, and now you're going to start 6 months of fighting with your own insurance company for something your doctor says you need.
Yeah, and you've got that intermediary, and the other one that's been injected into the system are these pharmacy benefit managers. That's yet another intermediary between the consumer and the consumption.
Buddy, we are going to have a long, fun day today.
Yeah,
People should stick around, and they can listen to us right here at 104.1, of course, the OG 1120. And they can find us on all those digitals and socials as well.
You can do that, in fact. And, man, did I have a night last night.
Yeah, you're going to talk about your pilgrimage to the capital of Missouri.
That's what we're going to do next on KMOX.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Money, sponsored by Bills Happen.
What happens to your social media accounts after you die? Tech writer Jennifer Jolly says control of your